And welcome back to episode 73 of the Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith, joined as always by my co-host here, Big Joey.
Yeah, in case you guys are wondering why Keith did the intro 2 weeks in a row, it's because today is the episode of my football jersey number.
They have football up in Canada? Are you sure? Isn't that some weird, isn't, you know, Canadian football, like the field is literally like 150, or it's like
Yeah,
double
we
the
have bigger
width or
balls and
something
bigger
crazy.
fields. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
bigger
no,
balls.
it's episode 73, which is Keith's football jersey number. I was just
Oh,
being
yeah.
a silly.
For that,
Oh,
you threw me
hi.
off there. That was good. Well done. So we got Big Keith, Big Joey, and we're joined as our special guest this week. We've got Big it's been a while. That's Ben Bile.
Is it
Say
Bile?
hello, buddy.
I was
Yeah,
saying
it's
Bale.
bile.
Oh, okay. I was
It's
saying Bale.
bile.
All right.
There we go.
Now I
Well,
know. For all the
well,
times I'm
welcome
going to say your last name today.
Welcome, Ben. Welcome. You drinking anything over there this week, Ben?
I've got a monster behind me, and I got a few
A
beers.
monster. A monster.
Yeah,
It's 7:30 at night. You got a monster out there? Oof. That's too late
yeah.
for me.
Well, when you're driving at night, it kind of becomes habit.
Okay. That makes more sense.
So,
I got a little something different this week. I didn't have any Wegmans left, so we are. What is this? This is it's one of those cranberry. The fuck brand is it again? LaCroix. Yeah.
Got a little
Cranberry.
Rizberry over there. He's got all the Riz over there.
It's not bad. Yeah. I gotta grow out the top curls and put the fucking the necklace in my mouth and shit. That's all about it.
For real, on God. I have a couple different things, and I think one of them is going to lead into one of the topics that I wanted to add this week. I am starting today with a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Oreo.
Okay, I saw someone else mention that, or I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're delicious. This is actually
Really.
I had one, and then I bought the 6-pack as soon as I was shopping and saw them.
Mm.
It's a little like vanilla Coke, which I'll break the big secret here. Vanilla Coke is like my weakness drink. I love vanilla Coke to the point that I don't buy it because I don't like drinking pop that much. But if I buy a case of vanilla Coke, I will drink that case and send myself into diabetic shock. So we have this because it's got a little bit of that like wafer taste to it as well. So it's actually really good, and the little can helps. But then I've also got this magical thing over here.
You got some. Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram. That's funny.
Yeah. So if you guys want to head over to hypedust.com and use code unpaid, you will get one of these. This is the most intense, I think, packaging for ammonia I have ever seen in my life. So it is a Starbucks cup.
I thought that was real Starbucks, and that's what your story was. I'm so confused. Okay,
no,
that's awesome.
He printed his logo on the sleeve. Okay. He printed a Starbucks label where he spelled everybody's name wrong on purpose.
Your name was great. I loved it.
JHOEE is my name on here. And it says GR pumpkin spice lobotomy, add hype, extra regret. Directions: lift heavy, don't die, drive through. And then he's got the ingredients. And then got the lid in here and everything. He's got the latte lid, and then you open it and there's the bottle.
Oh, nice.
So this, I believe, is actually the same as the, I want to say Dim Mac, but it might also be the same consistency as Nose Bleach. But then it smells a little like pumpkin spice. So we are not going to crack that tonight because that sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Save that for when when all the leaves are down or starting to fall.
Yeah, or when my deadlifts are starting to fall. And then I got a couple of light beers. I actually did go and get the Cracked Canoe we talked about last week. So yeah, nice 3% beer to get me through the night.
There you go. Yeah, I had the 2 last week, and I was pleasantly surprised. I woke up and was like not hungover, like no nothing, because it's always a crapshoot, man. Like 2 beers sometimes it's like fuck, I feel like dog shit, and other times like 4. I'm like I'm good. So you never know what you're gonna get.
I wish I could drink 2 beers.
The beers I've got with me are like 11% APV, so
all right,
well, they're not light at all.
But that's American, so that's like a 6% Canadian beer, right?
No.
No,
Is that how
ABV
Celsius
is the
works?
same. Yeah.
So when you drink those, Ben, what you gonna be wearing, buddy?
Oh, I've got my lift shirt. Lift shit. It's my favorite Massonomic shirt
It
I've
is a
got.
good one.
So,
I don't think I have that one in a one that fits anymore, but I definitely hopefully to grow back to shrink into it again, if you will. I'm rocking out the Massonomics Gym Aberdeen, South Dakota shirt in black. This one, I think they have three offering. I think Jen shared all the black, the green, and the blue. So I just got the black one for now.
And I have my Crew World Order shirt going on there.
I dig it.
Designed
Lift
by
hard, live
my
easy.
wife and printed by me.
Nice.
You want to rate last week's episode? Jump right in on that because
Do
Amber
it.
was a
Let's do it.
great guest.
It was. I loved the episode. I enjoyed it. I really liked the the cardboard cutout talk of the potential at the booth next year. And I was even like, I can already imagine it. Like the way, like I think Tanner was like almost like mad at himself that he talked about it. He was like, man, I don't want to spill the beans because I think we're gonna do this idea and it's gonna be great. But I think they the thought of having a cardboard cutout that you can stick your head in and you're just like on the shitter at the Arnold and it's just a fucking flooded, trashed bathroom, like that would be hysterical.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that aspect. And then I can't. It was when she was still on. They were still having home improvement talk. I don't remember what brought it up, or just the fact that she just watches it. Or I don't remember I don't know how they segued into home improvement, but home improvement is one of my favorite shows as a kid. And I don't know if has anybody watched it as an adult. Does it still hold up? Like I haven't watched it in 20 years. I don't know if it
I
holds up
probably
anymore.
not.
I haven't watched it
Yeah,
since I was 6. So,
yeah.
I don't watch sitcoms in general, so I don't think as an
Yeah.
adult I would fall for that.
But
Fun
I
story.
don't.
My buddy actually 2 days before Amber's episode came out, we're having a Comic-Con here in my city, and my buddy got his picture with Heidi and Tim.
Oh, dope. That is
Not
cool.
Tim. Not Wilson.
Yeah, the fuck, what is his name?
Yeah,
Tim
the
and
other guy,
Al,
Al. Yeah,
right?
yeah. So he got his
Al
picture with
Borland.
he got his
Borland or
picture with
Borland.
Al Borland and Heidi, and he ended up
That's
getting
awesome.
one of Heidi's hats. So that was pretty funny the whole time. I'm like, that's what are the odds of that?
That is a small world. No, so for all those reasons I gave earlier, I will go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 Howdy Neighbors.
Ben, what do you got?
I'll give it, all the corn talk, home improvements.
Oh yeah,
That too, yeah. I'll give it, this is going a hard one. 5 South Dakota corn palaces out of 5 South Dakota corn palaces.
Yeah, had to take some time from my mission to actually listen to the new episode. And yes, I did listen to it while I was lifting. So that definitely happened. I am now one of those guys because I have to be. Amber was great. I can't believe she's not crew. I think she gets it. I think she's very fun. Only knowing about her through her bathroom videos at the Arnold. I probably even talked to her at the Arnold and I never clued in. But
hopefully
she
not in the
definitely
bathroom.
no, definitely not. I have my own bathroom story. Actually, maybe Morgan has her own bathroom story. The first year we went to the Arnold, she took my son in because I was, of course, being at the Arnold. So she was like, okay, I'll take him to the potty. And I guess somebody said, oh, he's pretty well behaved. And as soon as that person said that, my son ran across the bathroom and licked the walls at the Arnold.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So the same son that's been sick on and off for the past 2 years. There might be some coincidence there. He
Yeah.
caught the fucking
She likes
Columbus
to tell
plague.
that story a lot because she's just like, fucking Arnold bathrooms.
That is really good. That's I can't wait to get the other perspective from that in a few weeks.
Yeah, we can add that to the notes. So with all that talk, the impressions, I thought those were really funny. Anytime somebody does the on the corn is gonna be funny to me. So I'm gonna have to give that 5. Well, I don't have something clever. Like the caffeine hasn't hit me. So we're gonna go 5 out of 5. Oh, I froze for a second there.
It better be good with this buildup.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 out of 5 Arnold bathroom stickers.
There we go. Those are good stickers for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. So, how was your journey? You mentioned your mission earlier, so I think I kind of posed everyone, or I kind of laid down the gauntlet. Joey did mention that he's gonna start, trying to knock out the backlog. Well, I think he actually mentioned that he was more or less done with it just because he started it. So we're gonna have to keep him honest every week. So, what episode? When did you start? What episode are you on now? I guess give me a little update on your backlog journey.
I started. You know what? Actually, I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm sorry, this is going to take up a little bit of our kind of
Yeah, you're good.
generic topics time. So Morgan, for my 40th birthday this year, she really wanted to send me on a trip, and her big thing was she actually wanted to send me to see the Northern Lights because I really want to see the Northern Lights before I die. But I thought, well, my birthday's in December. I said, why don't we? I said, if you're going to send me anywhere, let's talk about sending me to Crew Falls, right? I wouldn't spend the money myself, so maybe if it's going to be a gift, I'll go. And she said, well, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I only have this much. I was like, that would cover the flight. That wouldn't cover anything else. So she said, well, I don't know how else to get the money. And did you guys hear that burp? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
All right, great. Yeah, it's the Coca-Cola. So she actually
Oreos.
asked, like, what do I do? And I said, well, it's my 40th birthday. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would love to help, instead of buying me a bottle of Jaeger, contribute that money to the trip. So she started a GoFundMe. And she said, I'm very nervous. I kind of feel weird asking people for money. Um, but I was like, well, whatever. Like, and in my head, I'll be honest, and she's going to hear this and hate me. I was going to make up the difference either way. Right? With what she
Yeah.
was going to contribute, I wasn't going to not go. But she put it out there, and within 24 hours, had enough money to pay for the flights and the hotels. So that's a big thank you to all the crew that contributed. I forget who the first was, but somebody contributed $69, and then that was what everybody did for like 3 hours. Like every crew member did $69 even. It was really funny. But then yeah, so I am coming to Crew Falls this year.
Nice.
So as soon as she got there, I think it was the Saturday, I was looking at my Hall of Fame card and I said, well, Crew Falls is 14. And I said, the only other two missing are 4 years in the backlog. I said, well, I gotta try. And as much as, everybody in the Discord kind of, I will say I genuinely felt either being told not to do it, can't do it, or it's not fair that I'm going to do it. I felt attacked for a minute there, but I was like, I gotta try to get my jacket at Crew Falls because even if I don't get it at Crew Falls, I'm still going to do the backlog. So even if I'm short at the event, and I will be honest, if I am short, at least the jacket will be ready because I'll have it by January or February anyway. So I'd rather like power through. I'm doing it at 1.75 right now, which is kind of a reasonable rate because I normally listen at 1.25 or 1.5 anyway. So Tanner and Tommy just sound a bit normal to me. Some of the guests talk a bit way too fast. But I'm on episode, I think, 13 right now.
Oh, nice.
Well, I've also been off for 3 days.
Gotcha.
And listening while I'm lifting is half an hour to 45 minutes, right? Because I skip warm up now, so yeah, that's where we're at. Got to try and get to. I think I have to get to 240 to be 100% caught up with where I joined. So we're gonna work on it. The only thing I'll say, being only 13 episodes in, is
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the titles and see if anything jumps out at me to pick your brain on, but it's so hard
the
because
the
some of the
only
titles are so.
yeah. Do you even eat, bro? Times three. There is. I will just say, it kind of seems like there's a reason I didn't want to do the backlog.
Yeah,
Is this is
it's a
not
lot more
this
locker
is
room talk,
not the
and Tyler's
podcast I
super vulgar,
love.
and
It's
yeah,
it's not even the vault. It's the sets and reps and the talk
there's a
and
lot of that.
lifting, and it's just like I don't lift. I don't listen to lifting podcasts.
Yeah,
So if it honestly, because I'd still be at four. Actually, August 1st would be my 4 years next year. I would
so
get to
I'm a couple
15
months.
in August of next year either way.
Yeah,
But
you got me beat by like 5 months.
I'm gonna give it a push. I'm gonna give it a go. But then I just happen to be at 16 out of 16 in August, and I think only like 2 other people are gonna be there. So
Yeah, that'd be
give me
dope.
my challenge coin, Tanner.
Mhm. No, I think it's all the jacket. There's no more coin. It's just the
I know
jacket
I'm
is
fucking
the
around. Yep.
coin. Oh, okay. Okay.
So anyway, there's my update. There's my explanation. There's my reason why. You guys can all come after me later for it, but I'm gonna try and power through. And whether I make it or not, we'll see.
Well, good
Thank
luck
you for
to
giving
you.
me a chance to talk about that because that was a
No, you're
huge,
good.
huge week with Morgan doing that, all of my friends contributing, my 40th birthday. Like it was a big deal. So I had
No,
a
I
good
feel
week.
you. It's good. It's good. Well, hopefully, I mean, I'm trying to remember. It's been so while since I've gone through the back. It's been a while since I've gone through the backlog, but like, I don't know. From 0 to 240, at some point, I think it kind of morphs into because I'm trying to think at 240-ish, were they doing guests by then, or was it still just because there was a
I
while there was just Tommy and the Tanner shooting the shit
Around
every week for
220.
like a year, I feel
Around
like.
220.
Yeah, I think because
Tyler left in like 150 or 170 maybe.
I
I
went
don't
through
remember.
looking and trying to remember if I listened to that episode with the guests.
Hmm.
And I want to say that Jen Thompson was one of my first guests, but then I looked back and I think Jessica Bettner was on before Jen. And I
Yeah.
know I listened to Jessica's first episode. Then I was like, wait a second, when was Grant's first episode? And I know I listened to that. And I think he was
Hmm.
around 220 or 225. So
Okay.
we'll once I start going, I remember this, then I can say I did it. I'm at 14 or 15.
Well, no,
That's how
you
I
have to
did it.
listen to all of them again. No,
Yeah, I've
that's
got to go
good.
through
That'll be
1 through 400 to get my jacket.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right.
Well, I think at some point, like I said, I think I've explained it to people. It's like it's hard to remember now, but like there's like 3 or 4 different generations of the podcast. So
Mhm.
you should once Tyler kind of dips out, it definitely changes, and then there's a good lull. There's a good while there before it becomes like what it is now. Uh, Nothing really wrong with any of them. They're just different. But that's cool. I'm curious. I'd like a.
Three things to note. Episode 1 through 6, Tanner's ankle hurts and Tommy's not getting enough carbs because he's not eating enough rice. And that was also like 2 weeks ago. It's the same thing.
Full circle, right? My challenge to you basically is just like think of a couple things to talk about from whatever chunk that you listen to. And so if you're on episode 13 now, we're going to get an update in 7 days and see where you're at. And, 2 or 3 things that stuck, even 1 or 2 things that stuck out to you out of those new episodes. So that's a challenge for you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
One big one, actually, like I could do this all. We could have our own separate podcast about me going through this when Professor Shans comes on and they just
especially now
introduce him.
because you've met him and stuff
Well,
too.
I've
So
met,
it's
yeah, but
funny.
they just introduce him like we know who he is.
Yeah,
And they're like they're literally just like, oh, we're gonna have this guy on, and they don't tell us who he is or why he's there or anything. And I'm the whole time I'm going, the only reason I know is because I've met him. And it's like,
Yeah.
otherwise, this has no bearing on this podcast at all. Anyway, yeah, moving on.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
uh, I had a little crew meetup this week out in Albany, which was pretty cool. So I met Big Adam, newer to the crew. Think he's been here. He kind of said he siphoned or he filtered over from the Table Talk episode. So that was probably about a year ago or so, I'd say, if I had to guess. So he's been a crew ever since then. I knew he was out in Albany, and I've been waiting to try to. Luckily I haven't had to work out there in about a year, or at least not that I can remember. So we were able to go out and grab a bite and get a couple beers and shoot the shit for a good couple hours. It was cool to get the perspective from someone because like I've talked to fucking Jesus, at least 100 crew in person or more by now. But I've never, very seldom do I meet one that's so new to the crew and also doesn't have social media. So he doesn't get to consume Massonomics on the full scale that we do. So I guess he would only get their YouTube and podcasts, not Instagram or any other social media. So he's not on there watching their TikToks and shit, which I haven't seen a TikTok from him in months. But just in general, like just take Instagram out of your Massonomics sphere. That's like 60% of Massonomics or something. So it's crazy that he still like gets it and wants to be a part of the community and like enjoys Discord enough to like, be a supporting member without the social media aspect. So I thought that was just kind of neat. So it was a fun meetup with him. So I enjoyed that this week, bud.
So he doesn't even get to troll Dave Wilson with us or whatever that guy's name was.
I don't even know. Like,
I don't
I
even
guess I
fucking know who
followed
he
that
is.
guy, some USAPL lifter that fucking squats with his legs touching the fucking side of the squat rack. Weird ass wide squat. That's all. That's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. I was like, what the fuck is that? Sure,
Really?
he squats 3 times what I squat. It was just goofy looking. I don't know. That was like the one
Well,
thing when I was scrolling through his page. I was like, that's a sumo stance. That's very
he
interesting.
knows who we are now.
At least he knows. I love that Tanner went into his DMs. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
and
I got a kick
sent
out
him
of
a
that.
flag. Did
Oh,
you
did
see
he?
that
No,
part? Yeah. So the just if
I
you
heard
aren't
talk
caught
about
up,
it, but
yeah, if you aren't caught up and you're listening, this guy said, "I want to take this Federation flag down. What flag should I put up?" And then his next story was, "Stop saying Massonomics. I
oh,
don't know who
yeah,
that is." And I think it was like Big Leo or Big Adam or somebody posted it, and they were just like, "Who's this clown?" And somebody was like, "He's about to get a bunch of DMs as who this clown is." So I sent one, and Tanner sent one, and then out of nowhere, Tanner goes, "Oh, I got his address. I'm sending him a flag tomorrow." Which
yeah.
I was talking
I'm
to
curious of
Morgan, and
which one.
yeah,
Probably the
I'm
lift,
sure we'll
maybe.
find out.
We can't do the lift anymore. So
Yeah,
what
that's
flags does it even
banned.
have?
Hopefully the crispy boy is a
Power.
nice big one.
Yeah, the big banner. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was explaining to Morgan, and I was just like, we are the menace of the lifting world. Like, there's gonna be a point at some point where people are gonna be afraid of the Massonomics crew. Like, we're gonna go to the Arnold, and people are gonna roll their eyes and go, "Fuck, here they come." Right? Here comes the crew, bunch of jerks.
It's good stuff.
Anyway,
Yeah, I got a kick
yeah,
out of all that.
that was really fun.
So some strongman update. I did sign up for my next show. It's the Static Monsters here, October 26th. So if anyone's not familiar with Static Monsters, it's like a worldwide, I think, like on it's essentially like everyone's numbers are, goes up against everyone else's numbers. So uh anyone can kind of host a meet and do it, and then your numbers there with calibrated plates and stuff go up against like a national ranking essentially. So I'm not worried about that aspect. I just like the idea of, oh, $60 and I only have to do a fucking max log and a max axle deadlift. I don't have to worry about doing all this like 7 other events. Like that sounds amazing. And it's 5 minutes from my house. Fuck yeah. And some of my friends are gonna be there. Hell yeah. There is an optional stone, like, gauntlet, basically like start at like 175 and like go up until you can't do the stone. And like, I don't know that I'm gonna do that because that doesn't sound, I don't know. I don't have the mental capacity to add that to my program right now. I guess I could just do sandbags and shit, but I'm
Do
just
it.
gonna try to have fun, and I just want to hit I really just want to hit a
Stones are
log
fun.
PR.
Yeah. Stop
I
being a
just want to hit a
coward.
log. I know I've done it. I just want to do a log. I
Stones are
just really
fun.
want to hit a log PR. I just
Go
want to chip a log PR. I'll be super happy with that. And then like if I
then
could
chip
fucking pull
then
close
chip a
to
stone PR. Stop being a wuss about it.
if I could pull
Just pick up
500,
the
I'd
damn
be
stone.
Yeah.
yeah,
You just
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
pick it up.
So that's in a few weeks. So that'll be fun. There might be another crew there because there's a crew. I'm not sure how new. I think he's a newer crew out in Syracuse, New York, which is it's funny because he trains with one of my other buddies. And he's another one of these guys that's not on social media. So that's 2 crew in Western upstate New York that aren't on social media that are in crew that are all within like a couple hours of me. So I get a kick out of that concept. Uh, but yeah, and one more follow up on Strongman. So big shout out to Travis and Stu down at in Preston County, West Virginia, down there. What is it? I'm so bad. Lift Hard Strength Club, right? Yeah, Lift Hard Strength Club. They hosted their first Strongman show, and it looked like it was a blast. So everyone saw the pictures and everything that they were posting on social media. So
Mhm.
good job, guys. It looked like you had a great performance.
And just so everybody is aware, 0 penises got crushed, from what I
I
heard.
love I love making
Everybody's
memes about that.
everybody's penis was marked safe from 100-pound
Oh,
plates at the
I love
strongman event.
I had
that
to
is
pause
like
that episode when I heard that.
it's Mount Rushmore of funny fucking stories I've heard, funny moments on this podcast for me. It is because but if the funny thing was if like I really like Travis and Stu, but if Travis told that story about himself, it probably wouldn't have been as funny. The fact that Stu is so animated and he is a storyteller and he is he's just great at communication. Like he made that story so much more funny. And it was just, like so self-incriminating, which was the best part too. I love that. It was such a
Yeah.
good fucking great. I love those guys. I would love to see him at Crew Falls. I think Travis hinted that they might be able to make it out, but we'll see. I'm not gonna put the cart before the horse. Yeah, but we'll see.
Put the don't put the heart before the course, because
Yeah,
then
no,
then it
no
doesn't make
heart
any
portion, you
sense.
fucker. Yeah. And one last thing that doesn't make sense to me is there's another David Honeycutt out there that keeps buying gym equipment
Yeah, it's
shit
your
from
dad.
like my no. So like there's been I think there's been 3 in the last couple months. I know I basically touched base on this like a month or so ago, but there's been 3 different company owners of some kind of gym equipment that have reached out to me to essentially either ask if this was me or just like, is this someone that I know? And it's the funniest fucking thing. Is a David Honeycutt out in Michigan, and I can't find him on Facebook or Instagram or anything, and he keeps just buying gym equipment stuff, and it's from people that I know that own the companies, and they reach out to me, and I just think it's the funniest thing in the world. So very, very fucking weird and strange because it's not a common name, so that's what just throws me off. So that's all I got for general.
It's just
Ben,
rude, Keith. It's rude, Keith, coming out when you're not paying attention. It's like me, myself, and Irene. There's a rude David Honeycutt that lives in Michigan that buys shit and ships it out to nowhere.
Oh, and anyone that was on Discord that like believed Matthias's really good fucking picture there. I did not send him a bunch of dick pictures. I cannot be labeled as a guy that's fucking emailing people dick pictures. That's not something that I can have on my fucking resume. Let's not go there.
I got
don't
a
know
video. I got a video as
Oh,
soon as we
man.
were talking about that. I was just doom scrolling for a few minutes, and I got some guy microwaving a cucumber, and apparently when you microwave a cucumber, it keeps
Getting bigger.
its like shape, but then it becomes floppy. So I just sent that video to
God.
Matthias, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm counting that."
Oh, that's actually really funny. But I think he had to have like to get all the icons from me. Like he went into all the chats that I've had with him before, and he must have sent something and deleted it to have it be like because like every one of my fucking profiles had a like he was at the top of the thread, but there was no new message, and I'm like, I haven't talked to you for a couple days. What the fuck are you? What is this? Like you little
I'll,
sneaky bastard.
all I'll say, Keith, is I'll say the same thing to you that my staff loves when I say to them. I believe you.
Whatever.
And I always go, I fucking hate when he does that. He doesn't believe me, and I'll go, no, I believe you.
And then Jeff came in thinking that I ran the no wine garage page too, so he made the meme of like me giving myself the award, which was hysterical, but I was like, well, that's not the case in this instance. But I did screenshot, I did save that meme template because I was like, ooh, something's gonna come up where I like compliment myself, and this is gonna be relevant, so I will save that and keep that in the back pocket. Ben, is there anything in the social media world or Instagram or lifting or Massonomics or Discord that we didn't touch on that you saw this week that's relevant worth talking about?
Not that I don't catch a lot of it, but so I don't. I did. I was wondering what the dick things was about earlier, but I did see that. But yeah,
you didn't want to ask me what my dick was about?
Hey, what was your dick about?
I don't know.
This sounds interesting.
Nope, you gotta ask Matthias. He knows all about it, I guess. Apparently. All right. Well, that wraps up this portion. So, Big Ben, you have a little Massonomic sponsor read you want to give us?
Yeah. So, would you like to join a community that may or may not be a cult? Drink piping hot LaCroix, may or may not want to do some lifting together, drinking, and that's kind of all we know. Oh, what the hell? Just join. Just join. You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
Pop is in and let's go.
It. And that's Massonomics you want them to join, right?
Yep, Massonomics crew.
They're good guys. We'll keep letting them support us. Oh, well, I think we better get all these Carp and fucking what's his face still here watching us. Let's kick all those guys out and see if we can get our guest on the horn.
We got to put this podcast behind a paywall, I tell you.
Would we? I don't know if we'd be the first, but damn, it'd be cool if we were.
Yeah, we'd be the first podcast behind a paywall. All right. Big Ben, is that you?
Yes, it is.
You are live on Unpaid and Underrated. We'll bring you on in, get you chatting, have a little fun, have a little least fun, most fun. So welcome to the podcast. I want to start and just say, hey, what brought you to Massonomics? How'd you find the cult?
So February 2022, I started getting a little bit more serious into lifting weights, and I do strongman. And I was listening to Brian Shaw, and there's only 6 episodes out. I'm like, I still have about 6 hours of work to do. I gotta find something. And in the suggestions, I'm like, what's this? Massonomics. Click on it. Scroll through, find a couple of episodes, download them. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I like these guys. It's not really lifting related, or like I was looking more for like the serious lift sets and reps stuff, but I found the silly gooseness of it. And then it's like Aberdeen, South Dakota. I'm like, are these guys really from Aberdeen? I looked on the uh, page, and I'm like, holy crap! Because I actually grew up from Rossall, South Dakota, which is the very northeast corner of South Dakota. So like Aberdeen is like, what is it, an hour and a half from where I grew up. And I'm like, how have I never heard of these guys? So I started listening, and I think I got, oh, let's see here. I listened down to around episode 175 before I quit from there. And then I've
Oh,
listened to
as
every
in
episode.
going through the back. I got
Yeah,
you.
going backwards. When I find a new podcast, I tend to listen to the whole back catalog if I can. But I got down to like, I was like, I started at two. It was just before 300, so I want maybe the 260s is where I started. I listened to 100 episodes or so, and then quit. And then I was listening to every episode afterwards. And let's see here, when did I join the crew? Oh, it's May. May 31st is when I signed up for to be a crew member. So
What
that's
year,
been
buddy?
2 years.
Oh,
2022. 2022.
gotcha. Yep, makes
Um,
sense.
and actually, how I found my first strongman show was because of Massonomics.
Oh, cool.
They name dropped the Winter Classic in Fargo, and I googled it, found Iron Podium, stuff like that. And yeah, so literally happenstance.
Nice.
And
I
I,
always like hearing about when guys that like live, Aberdeen adjacent, and they're like, how the fuck have I not known these guys or something?
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I grew up in the literally 4 miles from North Dakota, 8 from Minnesota. And it's like Aberdeen is literally a place we'd go for school events and stuff like that all the time. So
Gotcha. So,
yeah,
do you ever think in any of your lifting journey, that you were ever at the same place? You think you were ever at the same strongman show or powerlifting meet
no,
or
no,
anything like that?
I didn't
Okay.
actually start competing until my first
Okay. So that
competition I've ever
that
done.
was your
My
okay. I got you.
Yeah, my first competition was June 2022.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
There is a really good chance Tommy and I have been in the same building at the same time, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to put that because I'd go to where he grew up quite a bit too. Because we'd go to, what is that? There's a event place with pools, racquetball courts, basketball courts, stuff like that. I can't remember what it's called, but
Joey's favorite hotel is a pool.
Most hotels have pools.
yeah, they
Some
do.
of them, yeah,
Just
a
a
good
lot of
amount.
them are attended by somebody at some point.
So Ben, for anyone listening, where are they gonna find you out on Instagram? Just so they know who we're talking to.
My Instagram is just my first and last name, Ben Bile, all undercase. Pretty
It's
simple.
been a while.
Yeah, that's good. I've
Uh,
never thought of that one.
Oh yeah, he texted me that. He texted me that earlier, and I was like, okay, here we go.
it came to me when I was working out, and I was like, "Oh, what? This is actually this might be something." Like every now and then I get a brain fart or a thought in my head, and I'm like, "This might be good." Well, let me bounce it off the other guys and see if I get any feedback. It went pretty good. So you've been
Yeah.
out there in the Dakotas your whole life, then, bud?
Yep, I grew up in like I said, town of 400 people. Oh, well,
That's
actually
awesome.
outside of town, but uh, Rossall, South Dakota. Moved to Bismarck for a while. Now I'm in Pierce, South Dakota, the state capital. Well, north of the state capital. Still have a Pierre address, but don't
How
live in
big
town.
is how do is it Pierre or is Pierre right?
P-
Pierre, am
oh,
I saying it right? No,
People from
not.
South Dakota, people from South Dakota pronounce it Pierre, but I'm
I'm
sure
not
it
gonna
is
say
supposed to be
Pierre.
Pierre.
All
But
right. So how big's Pierre versus Crew Falls?
Pierre is 13,000, I think, if I remember right. I
That's a
know. Well,
small
there's
fucking capital.
yeah, if I remember right, it's second smallest capital.
Okay.
Yeah, in the United States, second smallest, if I
So
remember
not
correctly.
so. I think they actually talked about that on the sister podcast. That I could have swore they were talking about Sioux Falls versus that maybe, but so you say it's equivalent to ish than from to Sioux Falls.
Yeah, Sioux Falls has like a lot
So
more people.
yeah, Sioux
Oh,
Falls is almost
is it really?
100,000, if I remember right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
or
then
over.
how the fuck is the capital a tenth of that? That's crazy.
I think
Aberdeen is actually,
Aberdeen's bigger.
yes,
Then
Aberdeen
how
is
the
larger than Pierre.
then we got to dig in. Like, is it just that? Like, that's so weird.
Because
Is
you
it?
don't pick your capital based on how many people live there. You pick your
I know,
capital
but
based on where you want to structure
Yeah,
the
yeah,
economy and stuff from. And it was probably picked before half of these cities grew to the size they did.
yeah, it's
South,
yeah.
true. I'm
Pierre,
South
curious.
Dakota
it
ain't
is one of
new.
the older cities.
Yeah, but is it one of those things too, where like the city limits is like this part, and then there's like a million parts that it's like basically considered like Greater Pierre, but it's all like suburbs that inflate the number like
It's not
tenfold.
suburbs.
There's no, it's
It,
just goes right out as a cornfield. Okay.
it pretty much. Well, there's little sections like I live up in a couple recreational areas, and we all have Pierre addresses, and we're
That's a big
15
thing.
miles north. But yeah, it's just like little, almost like
Interesting.
town, like
Okay.
communities that come up the highway that have Pierre
Gotcha.
addresses.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of coming up the highway, were you about what is it? You're like 5 hours from Sioux Falls because you're right. What's your Sioux Fall distance?
What the hell
Without
is
stopping, it's about 4.5 hours.
what's Sioux
And why
It's
Falls?
the
like
fuck? Yeah, Crew Falls. Well, I had to
Okay.
Crew
so
Falls. Yeah.
The
so
place we're all going.
so two-part question. Where the fuck were you last year? And you better fucking be there this year. That's
Only one of those is a
Work.
question.
yeah, I know. Well, it was more
we
the second
get
one the
mandatory.
second one had an exclamation point, which is still, it's close.
We get
Ultimate.
mandatory Saturdays, November and
Oh,
December.
Yep.
that sucks for
And
Michigan. That
actually,
sucks, man. I'm sorry.
no, actually, this year you won't.
Okay.
I'll actually be at Crew Falls this year
Dope.
because
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
am getting
dun, dun, dun.
my route got sold and moved to Bismarck, and I asked my boss, "Hey, can I get this one Saturday off?" He's like, "Yeah, that's not going to be a problem now."
Okay.
So I
Oh
am
yeah.
going to be at Crew Falls this year.
That's awesome.
Hell
Are you gonna come
yeah.
up? You gonna come up Friday?
Yeah, I'll probably come up Friday after work. So
Yeah, I think there's gonna be enough of us there Friday to make it worth. Well, fuck. After work, you might not see it till you be rolling in late, or
it depends.
yeah.
That strongman show I did in August, it was 10:30 when I got to Sioux Falls, if I remember
Okay,
right.
so you basically will be there all day Saturday, but maybe not necessarily
Yeah.
because I don't know how late we'll be out Friday night. But I just wanted something to be on the agenda. Last year, there was like Tommy met me and like four or five guys for lunch, and then I didn't see anyone until a brief meetup at night that was super unorganized. So I'm really hoping that they get the ball rolling and getting something a lot more ironed out for Friday because we're all spending a lot of money to get out there for like if I can if we can get Saturday, if we can get Friday to be at least something, it'd be a hell of a lot better for everybody. I think so. No, that's awesome. I'm excited. That'll be good to see you again.
Oh yeah, it would be good to see you guys
So
too.
Crew
Well, we
Falls.
saw you at Lift Hard Live Easy, didn't we? Last year?
Yes, I've been there both years.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Right.
you at the first one. I don't remember talking to you much at the second one. I know I said hi, I think at Pounders,
Oh yeah,
but I don't think we crossed paths, which is my bad, but also
I wasn't at Pounders, so.
no. So when did I see you? I know I said hi to you at some point.
Oh, hotel lobby.
Got it. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I know I saw
Yep.
you, but I don't know that we crossed paths, which
But
just makes
I
me
also had a beard down here, so.
You did, didn't you? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got rid of mine too, right? I got rid of half of
Yep.
mine. So
I got rid of more than half of mine.
I was gonna say nobody recognizes me now, but no, you definitely look okay. Everything's starting to come to me again.
Yep.
I'm not mean Joey at Lift Hard Live Easy. That's Keith that does that.
Fuck off. I'm gonna ignore you so hard.
Yeah, I know, eh?
I'm gonna talk to everybody in December
I
except you,
said
you
that
fucking
too. I was
prick.
like,
I really am.
I was like, if anything, he's just gonna ignore me like he always does when we meet in person. You're like, fuck you. I talk to you like
Yeah.
every day. We do. We actually talk almost
Well,
every
that's
day, right?
yeah,
Like
that's
Yeah.
me,
part
him,
of it.
and
It's
Nate.
like I want to, and half of like I don't know. That's why I like doing this podcast because it makes it easier to talk to the new people, the other people. So like, and half of my like crew falls and lift hard is like recruiting people for the podcast. So like, fucking, I got to waste time talking to you. We'll fucking see each other fucking every
I know,
Thursday.
I know,
We'll still
but
talk, obviously.
Yeah.
that's
You
not
embellish
funny.
how big of a prick I am. You
Yeah,
fuck.
but that's not funny. That's the thing. It's got to be funny. See, the Davids, the joke is he's not that mean to me, so I tell it like he is.
Oh, did
It's
you
all
see
part
the
of the bit.
thread? Did you see? I don't remember which channel we were, but Jen was talking about how she likes Bob's Burgers, and she
Yeah.
was like shocked. She was really shocked that I liked Bob Burgers, and like I basically have downloaded it on my computer like years ago, and I essentially I'll
Mhm.
watch like a couple episodes a month when I'm on the road or something. I just need like that like fall asleep comedy that you're only partially invested in, and I think it kind of dawned on me, and I was like when I was thinking about it when she was giving me shit for even like liking it, basically I was like I think I kind of relate to Bob because like he really just he fucking gets a lot of shit from everybody and he kind of just like wears his emotions on his sleeve and like he gets pissed off the whole time. I'm like, hey, that's kind of like me. So
Yeah, you just got
like
to
me
deal
and
with me, who's probably Louise. No, I would be
those fucking
yeah,
kids are
Louise.
terrors.
Louise is the one with the
His
rabbit ears, right? That would be
Yeah,
me
I
at the meet
believe
for
they're
sure.
yeah, that's you for yeah.
No, Louise is Tina.
Uh
Tina is
Tina's
the
the
autistic
yeah.
one. And yeah, so I would be Louise, and I could see how that would get on your nerves.
But yeah, it's a little orange since Nate refuses to, spend $1 million and fix orangeglaze.com and glazesearch.com, I have to just, randomly tell you about my movie and you know, TV consumption as of
Well, it's
late.
because it's not a parody, right? So
Yeah.
Fuck you. I did go back and watch. I was looking at what was it, Deadpool, because I just watched the sequel a couple months ago or something, and somehow it popped up on my IMDb that I hadn't watched the essentially it was the remake of the second one, I think, where it was like the Christmas special that was only PG, and it was like a whole bunch
Mm,
of back and forth with him and the fucking kid from Wonder Years,
yeah.
Fred Savage, who was I guess the kid in that stupid fucking movie you all like. And I don't know, I ended up watching most of it, and I was like, I don't know, it was just a different perspective of watching the sequel or the second one, and I don't know, it wasn't great, but at least I have that thing about like I have to like it's like a race to get to like a million fucking movie reviews basically. So it's like I'll watch as much shit as I can to like get those ratings and like
All right.
get my number up.
Can we get back to little
uh,
Ben over here? Little Ben Benji.
Little
Yeah.
little guy.
yeah, I've got a list of nicknames.
There was a couple, and I tried to like sort them, but I'm not gonna list them. I'm just gonna randomly call you different things from this list throughout the entire episode.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
So you're our second FedEx driver.
Yep.
So now I think we have to find out who the strongest FedEx driver is in the crew.
I don't know. Well, I think there's three of us though.
Well, David
I
had that
imagine.
thing with the UPS driver that was all jacked, right? Where he kept like stitching his videos. So maybe you have to do that with a couple of the FedEx drivers in the crew. Do you want to hit him with least
But
fun, most fun, Keith? It's your game.
Yeah. I'll so you're familiar with the game. Big Ben's an avid listener of the the main podcast, the us that is. So we're gonna hit you with least fun, most fun. Being on the road to a 300-pound log press. Or did you actually achieve it? I'm not I
I
couldn't
I'm still on that.
all right, so
Not quite.
I want to hear about that. Least fun, most fun.
The least fun is all the failures that comes with it. Because oh, I did hit a PR for at the Lift Hard Live Easy,
Mhm.
but my log is a lot different than the one we were using. And actually, I really like the one we were using. Like my
Yeah, that would have been
confidence was not.
the Bartos log.
Yeah, the Bartos one. My confidence going in there was not great. And then I was playing with that Bartos log. I'm like, oh, I don't know how everybody else felt, but it felt like butter for it. And I was like, I'm hitting a PR this weekend, and I did. But but no, it was kind of like I've got the same log you have, and that one can actually be frustrating.
Yeah, I've been in talks with someone to try to get like the full size one, but it's like it's in like 3 towns over, and he only can meet at like fucking 2 o'clock on a Saturday. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, dude. Like, I'm not driving
Saturday's
an hour
date
and a half
night.
to
You
go.
can't go there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, I'm literally in this town Monday through Friday for work, like very, very often. Like, figure out how to be here during the fucking work week, and I will buy it from you. But I'm not coming out on a weekend. Fuck you.
All right. So
Yeah.
most fun.
Yep.
Most fun the journey, because once you hit it, you're gonna want it more. But
Yeah. So what was your PR then? What'd you hit at Lift Hard?
240, 240.
Gotcha.
Oh,
I
amazing.
I almost had 260, but I messed up. My right arm didn't quite. It wasn't locking out. And I was sitting there trying push, 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 and then I tilted it out, and
Mm,
I didn't keep it in. Otherwise, I might have gotten it. But
that's what she said. Uh, you didn't struggle with the like. I felt that I don't know, man. Like, I was dead going into that. It was such a long, fucking, hot, sweaty day, and I think everyone underperformed, but then here you are hitting a PR. That's great. I think
well,
you and Tyler both hit PR. I don't think there was a ton of
yeah.
PRs on log press that day, honestly.
Uh, I knew going in it was going to be humid because I live in South Dakota, so I was like,
Yeah,
I doubled my electrolyte intake that day.
Me too.
nice.
Yep.
So
Keith had
yeah,
pills. Like
Those
came in
those pills
clutch.
are really good. Those
Because
are
I
good.
at
I
that point
yeah.
I
You can
had
only
had
drink
like
so much. I remember you telling me
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I'd had pre-workout and like 2 bottles of
Mm.
water, and I was like, no, I need electrolytes because like I'm dying right now. And he's like, oh, I've got these pills, and I was like, they make these in pills?
Oh,
Like
Oh yeah.
my life was so different for a minute.
I got just a sodium replacement
I
slash
Yeah,
electrolyte. I think it is. That's great.
I fuck. How long ago was this? Over a decade ago, I was working road construction, and my boss was like, "Here, take these. they're electrolyte pills."
yeah.
So,
Hopefully, hopefully.
Hopefully,
yeah, hopefully,
I guess if they were something else, Ben might not be here today. So
yeah.
I guess that's
yeah.
good.
I woke up in a hotel
That's
room confused with a scar on my side.
uh,
What is your Hall of Fame status there, Ben?
This makes 12 for me tonight.
nice. Congrats.
We are
Yeah.
making dreams come true here at Unpaid and Underrated. So
That's
your
what
cup
get
Oh
it
is
yeah,
in, right? Yeah.
your cup is on its way.
Yeah, it's 12 to get in, right?
yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's 12 to get in.
Nope, bear
Well,
with me. I'm just gonna announce
you'll be
that.
13 in December with Crew Falls, so
Yep.
that's an easy one. Are you so just as someone that lives out there and knows how brutal it can be in the summer, are you excited that we are going to be abandoning the OD at least for a year and trying out
Yes,
the new air conditioned hotel?
yes, I am.
I'm
I'll be
excited.
honest. Uh, I today actually it was 100, almost 100 degrees up in my
Jesus Christ, and
service area today. So
that's crazy. It's fucking almost
yeah,
October. Like, it's
yeah,
literally October in a couple days. That's crazy.
yeah.
Ah, fuck.
I mean, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. I'm not a conspiracy theorist of any sort, and I have the utmost faith in Tanner and Tommy. But I will say it took them lifting in the Lift Hard, Live Easy to finally pay attention to us when we said it was hodgepodge.
Actually, I would
That
say
was good.
last year wasn't as bad as this year. I'd say it was worse this year because it was more
Yeah,
humid
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general
And then
this
that
year.
rain hit,
So,
and we were like, "Oh, the rain will help." It did not help. It just
it
made it
did
well,
knock the
somehow
when
temperature
it
down at
stickier.
least.
as it was raining when the garage door was open, that felt amazing. And then they
Yep.
shut the garage door.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
That
They
was a good
finally
observation.
lifted, and they were like, "Wow, it really is uncomfortable."
That might be the most astute observation I've ever heard you state, Joey, and it makes me smile because that was really,
Yeah.
really giving the screws there. I like it.
Tanner's gonna text me and be like, "You prick."
Uh, that's great. That's great. So Ben, what's one piece of Massonomics merch that you would have missed out on? You've been here since 2022. Anything you've seen before that, or anything you didn't pull the trigger on?
there's I would have liked to get one of the raw power shirts.
Hmm.
Um,
Popular answer.
but actually, a lot of the OG stuff. Looking back at that stuff, I wish I could have got some of that because, like I said,
All right.
it's like, oh, that was so cool. Some of that stuff.
So is it the raw power shirt, or is it one thing in specific? Because you have your druthers, but you can only ride one horse with one
Uh,
ass. I think I
Hey,
said
you
that
got that
right.
right.
I'll
Yeah.
say,
I did.
yeah, you did. I'd say an original lift shirt would be cool to get, but
You could have got those fucking the last 2 years at literally at the Lift Hard, right? They've been just a
What, the
regular
weekend? Are you
like
talking the Weekend Warrior?
yeah, the light blue one.
Or
You may think I'm talking about something
oh,
else because
maybe
those
I'm
have been for
thinking of a
sale.
different one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
All right, so
I'll
we'll
just
go with
say
the
the
raw
raw
power
power.
shirt then. Yeah, there
Yeah,
we go.
just do the
That's
raw power.
we'll
There we
There
go.
it is.
we'll pull you off the spot on that one
Yeah.
and call it raw power.
That's a popular answer, but I would wonder how many they actually sold,
But
because
I
they
actually have
never.
a cousin who raises buffalo, so
Is it bison or bison?
Just gonna.
I say it. However, I say it because I know I sound just like Tanner Tommy, but I say bison. So
Hell yeah, me too.
there we go.
Is Ontario Midwest? Uh,
Oh, speaking of
Midwest
Canadian
Canada.
geography, I could just Google this, but it's too much work, and I co-host with a Canadian. Where's Nova Scotia? I'm watching a TV show that's based in Nova Scotia, and it's by the beach. I'm like, where the
yeah,
fuck is this fucking
it's the
East Coast or West
Maritimes.
Coast?
It's the Maritimes, so
That
it's the East
doesn't fucking
Coast.
help. Okay, so East
What do you
Coast.
mean it
So
doesn't fucking help? The
I don't know what the
Maritimes.
fuck merit. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It means Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland. I
You know where
do
Scance
actually think
is?
Rhode Island and Maine are
Okay,
considered maritime
so
as well. New York,
northeast.
well, yeah, but it's like
Very
the
north.
East
Okay.
Coast along the ocean, right?
Yeah, because like the
So,
main character, like bounces back from Boston to Nova Scotia, like it's not that big of a deal. So I'm like, it's got to be somewhere north of
yeah.
fucking.
Hey,
Yeah, it's
fun piece of Canadian history, Ben. If you don't mind, when the Nova Scotia explosion happened, so the Halifax explosion was when a boat full of dynamite collided with another boat, and it caused such an explosion that it killed thousands of people, completely erased an indigenous
Jeez.
tribe off the map. Was so hot and so loud it burned people's eyeballs. Like it was actually the biggest man-made explosion before Hiroshima. Boston sent up um aid through the help of like boats and food and troops and stuff like that. So every year Halifax gives Boston their Christmas tree. So when you say that she's
oh, that's
jumping
neat.
back and forth between those two, well, that's actually
That's
really
awesome.
cool to hear. What show is that?
Mm. It's called Sullivan's Crossing. It's like a really corny, cheesy,
Mhm.
fucking like doctor went back to her hometown, like finds a fucking Rome. I mean, it's not a great show,
A
Okay,
but
so I
Hallmark
won't.
movie.
it's basically it's a 2 season Hallmark movie kind of. But I don't know. I watch stupid shit like that sometimes. It's like a
Yeah,
bad
so
Grey's Anatomy.
Boston and Halifax is in Nova Scotia would be like, yeah, they're like buddy
Yeah.
sister cities. So
It was a very sad story that had a good ending, I guess. But I was gonna make a joke when you said a boat of dynamite, and I was like, oh, we're talking about TNT, big Tyler Thompson. I'm like, and
Tyler
then
Thompson.
once you said what happened, I was like, I'm not gonna make that joke because
no, no,
that's
no, don't.
horrendous.
And
But
so
like,
Yep.
Scance is north of that a little bit. He's in a place called New Brunswick.
up and over, it's crazy.
Sorry to interrupt you there,
Yeah,
Ben. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
Boston, Nova Scotia. I have a thing about that.
that's good stuff. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
that's actually really cool. I find that stuff fascinating. So
Yes, I
You know
am.
what?
We are actually. That's a really good segue. Speaking of segues, let's move into one. You just do a lot of reading and learning. I
well, not
understand that.
necessarily reading. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
All right. Yeah.
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 So
So like, what is this thing?
Consuming and learning.
Consuming and learning. Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
consuming learning.
it's kind of topical that I bring up this weird thing. And today, Morgan, we had my kid assessed for ADHD, and the doctor asked if I had problems in school, and I said no. And my wife looked at me and said, "You used to go to the library and read the encyclopedia because your classes were boring. I think you had problems in school." So I was just like, when I'm reading, going over the notes, and I was just like, you just know, like, you love learning new stuff. Like, what is that about? Where does that come from?
Uh, well, going over some of the newer symptoms of like ADHD and stuff, I might actually have it. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I have never taken the assessment too, but I'll hyper focus on subjects such as folklore or like when I was a little kid, animals. Like I'd watch documentaries, like boring ass documentaries of whatever's on TV. But a lot of the stuff was like animal stuff, like Animal Planet, Discovery Channel. Like that was like what I enjoyed watching when I was like 4, 5, 6, 7 onward. And that's kind of led into like podcasts where I'm listening to folklore. Well, actually, a mainstay I would say is cryptozoology, but
we'll get into that.
Anybody, but anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's like Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster. Those are like the two big ones.
I feel like we've
Everybody
talked about
knows,
that once before on here. I'm pretty sure that term has been on this podcast once before, possibly,
but
not positive.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I find a subject, I'll listen to it for 100 hours or so, and then I'll keep on listening to it continuously, or go back to it and jump around. So
you've been doing that for most of your adult life, then you're saying?
Yeah, especially since finding like podcasts and stuff. But
does that help with conversation? So like, I find that like the more I know, the more random facts that I know, I can just like pull shit out of my ass in like conversations, and it's a fun thing to do, and it's just nice to have like a wide, knowledge base of just random shit, because like you might, when you do meet those other people, they kind of have the same thing. So do you feel that like out of all that consuming of information, do you retaining a good bit of it that you're actually able to like harken back on it and like pull it out in conversations and be like, have people just kind of like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah, sometimes, and most of the time it's like a little nugget. Somebody will say something like "ding," and it's like then I'm
nice
regurgitating something I might have learned, who knows, 10 to 10 years ago. So
nice.
Yeah,
there probably wasn't a whole lot of podcasts back on how to be a pedal pull national champion, though, was there? Or is that something you just came to naturally?
No. That's something I came to naturally.
Before we get into that, I would love it if somebody told me what that is.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So Tanner and Tommy might know what this stuff is, because at like state fairs, different like town events. So have you guys ever seen like a pedal tractor? Maybe when you guys have been here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually guys who will modify them for like little kids all the way up to adult sizes. There's actually adult class too now. But so you take a pedal tractor pull, which for anybody not listening or not sure what that is, it's a scaled down model of a tractor with like pedals on it, like from a bicycle and gearing and stuff like that. And you hook an actual sled. So like if you've ever seen like truck pull or tractor, like engine powered ones, sled pull stuff, it's the same thing, but with pedal tractors that are
okay.
Yeah, could be there's some basic ones for small kids, and then they, like I said, I've actually pulled on some 4-wheel drive ones before, where it's just all 4 tires are putting power to the wheels and you're just pedaling. And yeah, I came very natural to that.
And that's something you did as a kid? Like give me a time frame.
As a kid,
like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like where were you?
6 to 12, 13-ish. Okay. Remember right? Gotcha. So
was that before football or after football?
That was before football. Well, before football into like my I had some of my last pedal pull stuff was my first time ever playing football going into junior high. So
gotcha.
Okay, so was that before or after loading creamed corn into a fire extinguisher?
It wasn't creamed corn. It was crack corn that I loaded into a fire extinguisher. And then launched across the yard.
Yeah, your mom and dad gave me some good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Oh yeah. I love messing with stuff like that. And honestly, if I had a farm, I'd build a trebuchet and have my son and nephew out, and we'd be launching shit across the farm. So.
But you're going to say you would launch your son and nephew.
No, I'd be launching stuff with them. My son probably would want to get launched out of it because he'd probably get fun. But
it probably would be very fun.
Well, speaking of launching people, at let's say 7th grade, you were over 300 pounds. I bet you would launch some kids on the field, huh? Were you even allowed to play before junior high or middle school then? Because most younger sanctioned like football teams, you have to be like under weight limits and shit to play until you're actually in middle school, I believe.
Well, like I said, Rossville was a town of 400 people, so we
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have football until
gotcha,
we were in 7th grade. We did have basketball,
gotcha.
baseball, stuff like that, but
I see.
we didn't have football until I was a 7th grader, and I was 300 pounds by then. So
That's a what did you where you've been like have you been like the same height pretty much since then, or were you like a foot shorter
no,
and 300 pounds?
how
Because you're only
much
like you're
taller did
not
I
you're only
get?
like 5'10" or 5'11", right? How tall are
Yeah,
you?
I'm 5'10". I'm
Yeah,
5'10",
so
and
like
I grew into it. Um,
gotcha. If you were like
oh,
5'5", 300 pounds, that's a thick boy.
maybe, yeah. I have always
Damn.
I have always been a big kid, like so. Yeah.
Was there a time I think it was one of your dad's Harkins that you picked someone up, you picked up the running back and a bunch of opposing players and ran the other way with them? Is it actually was that a little embellished, or you
Uh,
actually like
that
basically picked
that's
up?
a little embellished. I picked up the running back, and then he was being tackled and literally taking my coach's words. This was when I was an 8th grader. I picked him up, and I started carrying him down the road, and then or down the field,
I
and then
think
we
it's
got tackled.
is it
But
even legal? Like, isn't
no, it's
uh,
not legal. But
no? Because it's
it's
like once
junior high
you
football.
yeah, like the refs are just like well, I guess I should
They
blow
were
the
high
whistle.
schoolers, and they thought that was the coolest shit ever. So
That
the
is
refs were,
funny.
like I said, the refs were high school football players, and they thought that was fucking cool. So they didn't care.
So it's a bit like the Airbud rule, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing saying you can't. There probably is. I'm just making
Mhm.
that out. I just wanted to say Airbud rule.
Yeah.
Keith, would you like to ask about your favorite thing that I have highlighted here?
Where the I don't know where you're at. Give me da, 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 da. Is it actually highlighted? Okay. So I hear you have a good poop story for us. It
Actually, I
involves
got a
some snow.
couple if you want.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I want to hear the snow poop story because that's funny.
So this was a couple years ago. I was just got to my last stop. It is late. Well, it's also like December. And a few years ago, we had a bunch of snow up here. I was like, I can't
Shocking. I mean,
quite
it is.
remember.
Yeah, the Dakota's got that snow.
It was more than years prior, especially at that
Okay.
time.
So like feet.
Um, yeah, and well, so there was like, what was it? I think it was 7 ice storms I drove through that year, and like 4 blizzards. And there was like there's two, was it? There's one week where we couldn't work for 3 days because of a blizzard, another
Damn.
where we couldn't work for 5.
Oh.
And anyways, I got the bubble guts, and I'm like, I am 20 miles from the closest toilet, and they close in 10 minutes. There's no way I'm going to get there. So it's like, oh, I know a spot. And anyways, it's kind of a deep part of the ditch, and the snow is just built up. I'm like, so I tamped some snow down. The snow along the side of the road was 4 inches below my knees, and I made some holes. I grab on the tire, lean back, and my grip slipped on the tire, just bare butt, just right in the snow, bare everything. It was like,
That's great.
oh, this
Oh.
is cold.
Mid shit. That's the best. I was
No,
dashing.
it was before I even started,
Okay.
thankfully.
So then you had to finish
But
it and all cold and wet. That's good stuff.
yep, no, that was not fun.
Why don't you like? Okay, so you're a FedEx driver, so you're in a truck for 8 to 10 hours a day in a
uh,
royal.
usually like
Was that?
9 to 14 hours a day.
All right, so why don't you
So,
have the 5 gallon bucket with the toilet seat and the fucking garbage bags in it, and for the emergency, or like the collapsible, like Dan Bell style, like shitting in the back of his fucking work truck, just in a bucket. Like, there's got to be hacks that don't involve that.
the emergencies don't happen often enough to justify the space.
I guess, but damn, I don't. I
Because
think it happened.
I'm usually pretty good. Like, oh,
I
I
think
need to
once is
go.
often
I'll
enough.
stop here.
I feel you.
Yep.
I
Getting a
feel you.
getting a
That's
snow bidet once would be.
Snow Bidet. That's a good episode title.
I was gonna say
Good.
snow enema, but maybe you didn't fall that hard.
No, I didn't fall that hard. Oof.
I enjoy
All right,
that.
I'm
We haven't
gonna
had a
do
good
a.
poop story in a minute.
Okay, I'm gonna do a Mount Rushmore. But I am going to do something I've never done. I have a prop for Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is this prop?
So this is something I've never shared before. So this is my cryptid sweater. So your Mount Rushmore is going to be based on the cryptids that are on my sweater.
What? Let me see your sweatshirt. I barely see it.
Okay, so I have here the fur-bearing trout.
Oh, nice.
Okay. On this one is extraterrestrials.
Okay.
Okay.
I still can't see it, but
I'll when I'm done talking, I'll kind of move them in.
okay.
And then on this one we have Mothman
Okay.
and the jackalope. So
The jackalope.
there you will see the jackalope. There's the Mothman.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's one on the. Oh, yep. There's the other one there. The chupacabra is on here as well.
Okay.
So your Mount Rushmore is going to be cryptids.
Cryptids.
And if
okay.
you could include some of the ones I mentioned, that'd be awesome. But if you got your better ideas, or because obviously, like I don't have Nessie on there, and I don't have the Sasquatch. Like I don't have some of the big names, some of the big names, some of the celebrities.
Yeah, some of the celebrities. Actually, I'll do. I'll name a Canadian one. Ogopogo, which is like Nessie, but is a lake monster in Lake Ogopogo, which is on the western side of Canada.
In British Columbia.
I can't quite remember. It's been a while. I definitely say Chupacabra is definitely one of my favorites. New Jersey Devil has always been one of my favorites as well. And then I'd have to say Thylacine would be the other one.
Okay,
or
so
Tasmanian Tiger would be.
But that one's real.
It was real.
It was.
Went extinct.
Now they're saying it's out again.
Yeah, and people are looking for it. And actually, a great example of a cryptid from what year was gorillas? Technically speaking, the gorilla was a cryptid animal at one point because Western scientists didn't believe it existed. So there's
all right. So we got Ogopogo.
There really is a
the New Jersey Devil,
Chupacabra, and Thylacine.
Okay. So just for the sake of people who might not know, can you give me like a 2-sentence explanation of who those are? I'm pretty familiar with all of them, except I couldn't tell you much about the New Jersey Devil.
Okay. So Ogopogo is a lake monster in Lake Ogopogo in the western side of Canada.
It's either Alberta or BC. It's one of those two, but they're side by side. So
yeah. There's been many sightings similar to the Loch Ness monster, but the description varies a little bit more like a serpent-like creature. The New Jersey Devil has an interesting backstory. It lives in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Trying to recall some of the lore. So one of the things with the lore with the New Jersey Devil is the Leeds family was having their 13th child. The mother said this child would be the devil, is born a normal child, and became this grotesque monster with horse legs, a forked tail, horse head, bat wings, just this monster that is flying around the basically New Jersey for early 1800s, if I remember right. God, dang it. Oh man. But it's a grotesque supernatural creature that was possibly born normal human, was cursed, and has been flying around for 250 years. The Chupacabra is could be multiple things. But the main legend of it is a creature that was going around killing livestock, mainly sucking, drain like a vampire like thing, draining the blood out of animals. El Chupacabra actually translates to the goat sucker. Go figure. Weird translation.
Very literal.
Very literal translation.
I mean, I guess they should leave Ed Cohn away. Leave him alone. That is.
Some say it might be an alien. A lot of people think it's just coyotes with mange or wild dogs with mange. There's a couple different things with it. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Texas are like the main areas that you hear sightings.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3. Thylacine. And like I said, thylacine or Tasmanian tiger is a marsupial dog-looking creature, and originally from like Papua New Guinea, Australia, and New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand. Pretty much went extinct in Papua New Guinea and Australia due to dingoes. And the turn of the century, the 1900 turn of the century, when people started to colonize New Zealand, they started shooting Tasmanian tigers due to supposed pressure on sheep, because in New Zealand they do a lot of sheep farming. And anyways, their last one died in 19. Oh, I just heard this a couple weeks ago. What was it? 1938 in the zoo, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Or the zoo in New Zealand. New Zealand. I can't remember. Trying to remember things. But it is, like I said, a dog. It looks like a dog, but it's actually a marsupial. Marsupials are animals like kangaroos with a pouch that hold their babies. It has one of the few predatory marsupials that's ever existed, and people still see it till this day. And that's one of the ones. I can't think of his name now. Forrest Galante that's one of his favorites too. So.
All right, that was fun and educational. Keith, being from West Virginia, is of course a huge fan of the Mothman.
Fucking A, right? That was a good movie.
Yeah, sure. There's like a whole Mothman festival in West Virginia where like they
it's
Mothman
like all in
real.
the southern part, so I didn't even really know about it until I was like, I think like, I didn't grow up with it knowing that it was even like a thing that my state was famous for, just because it was like such a regional, not anything to do with the northern part of the state that I could remember. Ben, I'm gonna hit you a little FMK. You ready, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I just freaking had it. Sorry, give me 1 second. So, Ben, we're gonna go pizza toppings here, or types of pizza, if you will. So FMK, 3 types of pizza. And you gotta fuck one, marry one, and kill one. So we're gonna go with buffalo chicken, meat lovers, and chicken Alfredo pizza. So buffalo, meat lovers, chicken Alfredo, pizza. You gotta F, M, and K them. What you doing? With druthers.
With my druthers. Buffalo chicken and meat lovers are 2 of my. Well, actually, those are my top 3 favorite types of pizza, no matter what. Yeah. So I eat a lot of buffalo chicken. So I could.
I love druthers.
You know what? I can eat buffalo because it's just pizza toppings. I can eat it somewhere else. So I will kill buffalo chicken, even though that's
okay.
The gas station I stop at. Every once in a while they have it, and I can smell buffalo chicken. I'm like, what is that? And then I walk it around. I'm like, oh, that's so tempting. Sometimes I do grab it. So I'll kill buffalo chicken, even because I eat it all the time almost. With like noodles and vegetables, but it's not pizza.
Yep.
Fuck chicken Alfredo and marry meat lovers.
There you go. What is on a meat lover's pizza in your eyes?
Meat.
Just meat. Actually,
Like,
my favorite
okay, so
one
say there's like 4
is
things you can put on meat. Like, there's got to be like 30 million different variations of a meat lovers. Y'all fucking out
my
there probably putting
favorite.
tiger meat on your fucking, on your meat lovers
Well,
pizza,
it's
you
going to
weird
be
fucks.
cooked. It's going to be cooked, so it's no longer
Yeah.
tiger meat. It's just seasoned
Well,
ground beef
you
at
might
that point.
make it a little garnish and sprinkle it on top
Uh,
and fucking say this is how we do it in the Midwest.
I'm helpful.
Wouldn't be much different than sardines.
All right.
Yeah,
Or
I won't eat
anchovies,
those.
right?
Yeah, but no,
I've
my
never.
favorite meat lovers is actually the Walmart brand market side one, and they have pepperoni. What is all on that? Pepperoni, ham, bacon, ground beef.
That's all fair.
Like like a 16-inch pizza. I'll have 2 slices and I'm full. The pizza, the large one is like over a pound,
Oh my
and it'll
gosh.
feed a family. Yeah, it'll feed a family, and and it actually tastes really good. So I can't remember what's all. Like I said, was it pepperoni, ham, bacon, ground beef, sausage?
The crumbly
Uh,
sausage too, right? Yep.
yeah, the crumbly sausage. Yeah,
So as
but there's a lot.
someone like me that you work out of a, you're in a work truck all day, and I get a lot of shit for not microwaving my chicken or getting one of those thermoses or the plug-in microwave. What do you do for lunch? Do you pack a lunch? Do you always do get gas station? I hope you're not getting gas station food fucking five days a week. What's your
No, not all.
how do how do you manage working out of a truck basically? What do you do?
Well, it's changed here and there, different things. I tried doing I eat everything cold. I
Same,
it sucks, but
same brother.
yeah,
Eskimo
I eat
brothers on that one,
everything
man.
cold. I eat
That's
everything
not what
cold.
that means.
But it was funny because it kind of because it's like Eskimos are cold and it's similar. We do the same thing. We're not fucking the same thing, but we could be
That's
fucking the
not
same
what
cold
that
chicken, I
means.
guess. Yeah, but it was similar enough that people knew what I was saying. That
Gross.
it was a
Like,
parody of what it was supposed to mean. You fucks.
uh, like if you check out my Instagram, that's kind of what I like to do now is some noodles, uh, buffalo chicken. Actually, I got garlic parmesan this week, which is a nice reprieve. Um, so I'll make a bunch of chicken up in the crock pot, shred it, put buffalo sauce on it, put the garlic
Nice.
parmesan, which I did this week. I'll do like burger, just plain burger. Well, not plain burger patties. I usually put Cajun seasoning, salt on it. Um, and then fruit. But like I've done, like this week, it was the garlic parmesan chicken with noodles and a vegetable, and then buffalo chicken, noodles and a vegetable, and then ground taco meat with vegetable and a
Nice.
potato. That I didn't cook the potatoes all the way through, so I've been eating raw potatoes.
Oh,
So,
that's the worst. So
oh,
I had one the other day that was like it was a because I freeze a lot of mine, and then I got one out and the chicken was completely thawed, but the potato, like, it was still thawed, but like when you bit into it, it was full of like ice cold water, so it was like it was still thawed, but it wasn't really thawed, and it kind of like exploded. It was really fucking horrendous. But then I had one like the one that was thawed out an extra day was perfectly fine. So it's like, okay, like I can still freeze potatoes and thaw them and they're good. It's just that one was a little too still not unfrozen, I guess. But no, I appreciate that someone in a similar position as me is working out of a truck and being in a confined space, and like I'm not trying to bring a fucking microwave or a thermos or anything. It's fine to
and
eat cold fucking chicken, you
and
goddamn
I
you
gotta
fuckers
say
that
it.
like to give me shit.
No, because I think I have backed you on this before. Microwave chicken breast is fucking terrible. It turns
it is.
into rubber. It is
It does.
impossible to eat. So if you have like a fresh chicken, one of my coworkers has a chicken farm and she was like, "Here, I gift to you a half chicken." So Morgan roasted that half chicken and the rest of it's just sitting in the fridge. I'm not microwaving that chicken breast. I'm eating
No,
it
cold
cold.
chickens.
Yeah, it's
No.
absolutely
Air
fine.
fryer works good though.
Nah, I don't have one of those yet.
I
I'm
haven't
gonna I'm
I
gonna have
got
to
one for
redo.
my wife's.
I don't have counter space for another thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo the kitchen and get bigger counters if I want an air fryer. My supplements take up like a quarter of the kitchen right now. So
Now, what kind of supplements do you have on the counter?
protein, creatine.
Oh, fuck
Like
you.
I have like
You
three kinds of creatine. I have the the electrolytes.
I hate
I have the beta. Is it beta alanine or beta alanine? What do you guys
I don't
say?
know. It's fucking
Alanine.
creatine. Like you always fucking say it. You just recently stopped,
No,
you
no,
bastard. I
no,
hate you
and you're
so much.
never gonna find proof of me saying creatine.
Oh, I'm gonna get really bored once and actually just I don't know. I gotta figure out like there's a way to transcribe all the episodes and just find where like creatine is fucking said and then just go like look a couple times and it's
Chat
fucking
GPT.
there. Swear to God, it's there.
Have
If it's
Chat
not you, it's
GPT do
Tanner,
it.
and then I'll feel like an asshole. But
No,
uh,
I just, and if I
it's
was doing
it's
it, I was doing it on purpose for sure.
it's
Because I
out there.
sometimes say creatin too. I
I don't
sometimes say
know.
it that way to mess people up, but
Yeah, I know. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. There's one more. It's kind of a morbid story ish, it
what?
looked like, but it was kind of funny. It looked like so do you remember drawing a picture when your grandma passed away, possibly? And there's a funny
I
story there.
okay. So
Okay.
the picture I remember drawing was a little bit different. This is a but oh god. So the that particular one I don't remember drawing because my aunts were there when my mom obviously too. I was 6 years old. The
I'm
one
sorry. I
I
didn't mean
remember
to.
drawing is the one I remember drawing is a little bit different and uh dealt more with like the lake and stuff. The one that my mom's talking about is my aunts and whatnot, or so one would be my sister, one would be my mom's sister-in-law. They had came up and to our house, and we're sitting at the so the way the house I grew up in, so there's the kitchen, and then there was an addition. Well, so there was an island. Ouch! Damn, what the hell did I hit? There was an like an island with the sink and stuff, and
Yep.
then a wall that separated the front door to the kitchen, which had the stove, the microwave, the refrigerator, some cabinets. I'm hitting shit. But anyways, there's this addition where there's a covered, or yeah, it was a covered porch, and you could look out of the porch or look out into the front yard, and then it went to the south, and then on the backside of the island there was an open area. So we're in this little cubby type. Actually, at that point in time, there would have been a divider at from
It's
the
all right,
island.
man. Is there a
So there's
funny is
this
there a
little.
funny part to the story? Sorry.
So
I was
we're
just was
sitting
looking for
there.
like a 30 second.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
You're
So
good. You're
I,
good.
I
I just want
so
people to
I
get
drew
it.
my grand. So my grandma had just passed away. I drew my grandma in her coffin, and the worms are coming up to eat the coffin.
Yep,
And
that's what your mom
I
told me,
yeah
and I
yeah
thought that was a good. I thought that was just. I mean, as a 6 year old, you don't fucking know any
yeah.
better. Like that's funny.
Well, it's like
So
my comprehension with that stuff was
yeah,
above my age, and my
yeah.
aunts are like freaking out, like, "What the fuck's wrong with him?" And my mom's like,
Is this and is it like one of those things that like your family brings up every few years to kind of bust your chops with, or is it something
"No."
like okay? Because I have some
My
that's
mom brings it up every once in a while. We'll sit and
yeah,
laugh about
that
it, but
counts. Yeah, yep.
yeah.
No, that's good. That's good stuff. Get that.
Well, I think before we move into some games,
Yeah, we're hour 25 in.
tons of time, man. There is one
Yeah,
thing
I
on
know.
here that I was like, okay, I don't know how to bring this up other than exactly how it's written. Okay.
Okay.
Um, oh, he knows some different bands I don't know the names of. So when we were asking for your Mount Rushmores of potential
Yeah.
topics, we got the bands I don't know the names of. So I know
Gotta love parents.
Crew likes their music talk. So what?
Oh boy. Can you at least tell me who put that so I get an idea?
It's your mom or your dad.
Oh boy. It probably was my mom then. So I listen to like all sorts of music. I I listen to a lot of rock, heavy metal. I
Mhm.
listen to EDM. I listen to some. Actually, more recently started listening to like uh the gal's name's Haley Reinhart, and she sings like more like the Frank Sinatra style, and sings a lot of newer songs. I listen to a lot of different stuff. Some of my favorite bands are like Ice Nine Kills, Five Finger Death Punch, Pawns of Kings, which is a gothic country. More like Joy, you might actually like the gothic country stuff. It's dark, gritty, more old school with the modern sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Like Pawns of Kings, exactly how it sounds.
yeah, Pawn. Or is it Pawns or Kings?
Pawns or
Crap.
Kings, got it.
Yep. Uh, uh, I, Falling in Reverse is one of my favorite bands. I've been to like Slipknot, Disturbed, Korn. Korn Rob Zombie was actually my first concert I've ever been to. Slipknot. I listen to a lot of rock stuff. I also so it's kind of hard to say which one it was
Well, I
because I
just thought
listen
it
to a
was so
lot of
like
stuff.
we always bring up
Well,
music of
I was
some
trying
sort.
to
So it's
I was
like,
trying to look
okay.
through the submission, and I just saw that your wife submitted something. She must have submitted it after like 8 o'clock this morning because she wasn't on.
Yeah,
We don't have anything that your wife submitted, so we don't have. We started to get to any of those things as we round out the half,
yeah,
the 3/4 mark of the podcast. I might try to read through that real quick, see if she has any.
yeah. She was asking me like, "Hey, what's this?" I'm like, "Oh, for like FMK, an example for you would be like Harry Potter, Twilight, and
Yep.
Dragon Age." And I'm like, "Oh," and yeah, then it clicked. So,
Oh, you're gonna
but yeah,
load. You're
like
gonna
I said,
load
I
something
listen.
mid.
I'm just. You don't have to. I mean, I'm
So
just over here.
I am gonna check out Pawns or Kings because like I like that the black grass or whatever we call it, the honky goth.
Yeah,
I think they made fun of me for calling it
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like he did a version of Cotton Eye Joe, and it was more like
Got it. The
this
murder
person.
ballad.
Yep, exactly. That's the exact one. But
Yeah, I
that's the
mean,
most popular I can think of. But
have you
yeah, like I said, I listen to anything. So
have you listened to the Bridge City Sinners, the band I have not stopped ranting about for the past year?
no, but I did start listening to Jaluka.
Yeah,
Because
the
yeah,
techno metal.
yep. I really like that. I actually different in the last year dove down. Actually, when you said Jaluka, I was actually in the middle of diving down into the Japanese rock stuff, and
Yeah,
yep,
Oh.
it comes up.
that's awesome. And then
So
what's their name? Baby Metal just did a song
Yes,
with Electric Callboy. So
yes.
they did a song
What is it?
together. I don't remember what the name of the song is.
Rat tat tat
Was
tat tat.
yeah, it wasn't like their
Yeah,
best song, but it's Baby
no,
Metal's a
it's
very
still
interesting.
yes, they are.
Yeah. When that male vocalist is in there, he's killing it. And I actually I enjoy Baby Metal to an extent.
Yeah, I actually like that one with
so
Electric Callboy.
Yeah,
That's a fun song, and
it is.
I've used some baby metal stuff in my reels on Instagram. So
All right, Keith, I think is
so I've
chomping at
got
the bit here for some
no,
new
we
stuff.
got so I'm glad I was able to find your wife's late submission, but two funny stories I have to say are worth mentioning. So I want to hear your interpretation. Well, I guess you okay. So your wife says that you have some bouts of talking in your sleep, and is
yes,
there any? And she has to tell you basically what they are. Is there one that stands out that's funny, or do you know which one I'm talking about? Involving
yes,
your
I
pet
know what you're
rhino.
talking about. Yes, and
Hmm.
I'm surprised my mom and dad didn't put anything because I've talked in my sleep since I was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
Hope you never
nothing
had to
new.
share a room with anyone. Damn, that sucks.
uh, my roommates in college said I wasn't, but who knows? They might have been sleeping harder than they thought they did. But on multiple occasions, I have woken my wife up to make sure the rhino that's in the backyard is still in his pen. And sometimes there's an
Rhinoceros,
elephant involved.
a
Yeah,
literal, okay, a
yeah,
literal,
literal
massive.
rhinoceros.
It's as
Yeah,
big as your fucking house. That's
yeah,
great. And then you
yeah.
think that subconsciously, like you have a dog that you keep out. Like, is there any subconscious
No,
carry over
we
that
don't
it's like
have
a
any
pet?
pets.
Okay,
We don't
so
have any pets right now.
that's fucking funny. You listen, you.
Oh, I tell you what, I get some of the strangest dreams. I'm not surprised I say strange shit when I'm
Yeah,
sleeping
sounds like it.
because I'll be being chased by Bigfoot and aliens, and I'll wake up. I'm
Whoa.
like, oh, that was strange. I
And
like
that'll
most people would be freaking out, and I'm like, well, I wake up. I'm like, oh, that was strange. It doesn't freak me out,
and that
so
leads
I'm
to the
not
second
surprised.
and that'll lead me to the second story here. As was there a time you thought you saw Sasquatch and ended up not being Sasquatch?
Okay, so we were heading to more middle part northern Minnesota for a family trip,
Yep.
and my wife and I had only been dating 6.5-ish months at that point, and we were going to be getting to the cabins about 3 a.m. and I was driving at that time. And anyways, I'm like, I am bored. I'm gonna start saying random shit. So I said, I'm like, oh, there's Sasquatch. I'm like, what? And then I said the other funny things. The other funny thing I said, I'm like, oh, there's a rabbit, giant rabbit jumping tree branch to tree branch. Yeah, my wife and her sister thought I was losing my shit.
Yeah,
But
that's
in
not how they
reality, I was just making shit up. So
that's not how they I mean they interpreted it as you thought you saw Sasquatch jumping from tree to tree, running through the woods, and
yeah,
if she remembers correctly, it was just a metal cutout in someone's front yard. So that story was funnier,
there,
so I'm gonna go with that.
yeah. Actually, funny story. There is a person on Highway 1804. They actually have a metal cutout of Sasquatch in their yard that I drive past every day.
Good stuff. Has your wife ever recorded your sleep talking? Like, do you guys ever just because
No,
aren't there apps that like are supposed to track your sleeping? Do they actually record when there's like audible shit or anything like that? Because that would be interesting. Like, you should look into that because that could be like funny or interesting or fucking eye
she's
opening
never
shit you
recorded it.
say. That might be
I
worth
got
just leaving your phone recording for 8 hours. See what you get.
yeah, that would be entertaining. Because
All right.
like I
Well.
said, I the stuff I'm not surprised. I'm like like I said, some of the weird dreams I've had. I'm not
Mhm.
surprised.
Well, I'm
So
glad we were able to sneak those last two in. I think we're ready to move into a little unpaid or underrated. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Big Ben, you're
Let's
familiar
do
with this
this.
game, but if anyone's not, if you get any Ben's family and friends listening for the first time, similar to a game, unpaid or overrated or underrated, we improve that and we go unpaid or underrated. So anything Ben likes, more or less, we'll call underrated. Anything that's a little shitty, we're going to go unpaid with. So, Big Ben, are you ready?
yeah, and actually,
Oh.
I will say unpaid underrated is riding the line less, or no, yeah, unpaid underrated is riding the line less than overrated or underrated.
Hell yeah.
I'll take it. It is I mean, it's an improvement in every aspect in my eyes,
Oh,
So,
jeez.
uh,
Gotta get our sponsorship
Because
pulled.
if something's overrated, you still can like it, but in my eyes, unpaid, it's like you don't even like
No.
it at all.
yeah,
So
I like to make it to where I mean, ours is a little bit like theirs. They interpret it as like is the interpretation of overrated meaning is it I like it a little more black and white. It's just either good or bad. Whereas the other one, it's kind of you leave it up for interpretation. So let's go, Big Ben. Unpaid, underrated, homemade wine.
oh,
And why am I asking that?
I'll tell this story. My mom was
Yep.
making homemade wine, and she decided to make raisin wine.
Oh,
She also made dandelion wine.
that's no
Well,
strawberry
the
wine.
No, that
raisin
sounds sick.
wine.
Yeah, that would.
Well, okay, so the raisin wine, I was siphoning it for her. I took a big hit
Uh-huh.
off the
Hose.
lack of a better term, bong to siphon it.
You got
And
multiple
I'm not
mouthfuls
going
of
to
the.
spit yeah, a mouthful of this raisin wine. I'm not going to spit it into the clean stuff. And so I get the hose dumped into the next jar or whatever she's using. And I drink the raisin wine. That shit burned until the next fucking morning.
Yeah.
Like I drink straight whiskey and I've never had it burned up next morning. And then another time, hey, try this. And it was dandelion wine. I took a smell of it. It smelled like paint thinner. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm drinking that. But yeah, my mom used to make wine and a lot of it did taste good, but those were the two. And I
Yeah.
would definitely say it's still underrated because homemade wine is an interesting aspect of a hobby, and you can get more of a finer taste that you want out of it.
Do you think you started talking more in your sleep after that first big hit?
I,
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if I did.
All right, Big Ben. Unpaid or underrated dragons?
Definitely underrated. I love dragons. I have
Nice.
ever since a little kid. And then my son and I, we will watch How to Train Your Dragon. We'll watch 1 through 3. We've watched the Netflix show Race to the Edge multiple times together. So yeah, dragons are definitely underrated.
What's your favorite dragon media, either book or show? Not necessarily like something you and your kid enjoy, but like something you enjoy.
It would be a poem. It is oh fuck, what is it called again? It is a poem about a man who kills a dragon, and the dragon has a very long neck. He ends up it's a swordsmith. He kills a dragon, saves the day, whatnot. There's actually a movie about it, and I cannot remember the name of it. It is a weird name. You know, I'm not going to go with that. I'll
You're good.
go with the Norse legend of um. mm, oh, Jabberwocky. It was the Jabberwocky, the poem I was
Nice.
talking about. So it's called the Jabberwocky, and it's a type of dragon with a very extremely long neck. And the swordsmith finds a special piece of ore, makes a special sword, kills the dragon, saves the day. There's
Oh, I
actually like a
saw that. I
B-rated
saw
horror.
a movie. I saw the movie like 20 years ago on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
It's The Curse or the Ring or something like the Black Ring or the Dark Curse or something. I
no, it
literally
would
know
have
what.
been called the Jabberwocky,
I think it had
and
well.
it is
Uh,
literally a B-rated horror movie based off the poem.
okay. I don't know.
So
Interesting. Well, yeah. If you find that, send me the link to it. 'Cause I'm curious if it's the same thing I'm thinking of. It's just got a different name.
okay, yeah,
Big
I can
Ben,
definitely find that.
unpaid or underrated home gyms. You're a big home gym guy. What do you think of them?
They're expensive, especially when you get special equipment.
Fact.
um, I'd still say they're underrated because they're nice and convenient, especially when you got extra time. Or say like with strongman, you get all the different specialty equipment. Granted, most of my stuff's Titan, but it's still nice having that special equipment to train on. Because like I've got an axle. Well, no, I've technically got 2 logs. I got a pair of really nice farmer's handles from a company called Granite Fitness. They're American made, and at the time they were actually cheaper than the Titan ones with free shipping when I got
Oh,
them.
that's a good deal. And Titans are
Yeah,
not bad at all. I actually
no,
did use when I got those Titan ones. Everyone was asking how the knurling on the handles were, and I was like, "Why is everyone asking?" And they're fucking perfect. They're like aggressive as shit. I used a different pair at a commercial gym this week, and it was like, it was as smooth as like a baby's ass. Like there was no knurling on it whatsoever. I was just like, I had to put so much chalk to even like grip them. But it
oh
was
yeah,
sorry to interrupt there, but little follow up on mine.
but yeah, yeah, definitely underrated because like I said, there's the commercialish slash powerlifting gym that I train at too. They do have strongman stuff, but not everything. So
Where they have like really
uh,
shitty crash pads that like are all blown out and like
they
you feel
don't
like you're
have
gonna.
crash pads.
Yeah, so that's sketchy.
Like,
I had to log press on like the thinnest. I mean, they were still rogues, but they were like pretty blown out. And I've never done the log not on like double pads before or like real crash cushions, just on like a regular crash pad. I was like, ugh, if I and it was on they had the same shitty Titan log. So like if I come down and I miss the fucking like the barrel of the log, I'm gonna destroy my feet. So I was like, very anxious about
well,
that.
like if I'm using their log, I'll put it on the big 215-pound tire and then
That's
just
smart.
clean it off the tire
Yeah,
and
there
then
you go.
just smash it on the tire. But
Yeah. Kind of like when you
they
smashed off the tire taking a shit that one time.
yeah, about like that.
It's the revenge for on tires.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand over the reins to Big Joey.
All right. Unpaid or underrated celebrity gossip.
Fucking unpaid. I can't stand that shit. Like, I
Yeah. Yep.
Like if someone starts bringing it up, I'm like, please don't fucking tell me. It's just like, no, I don't want anything to deal with it. So
Yeah. This thing about Dave Grohl came out recently, and everybody was like, they had their hot takes, and I was just like, somebody was like, he was supposed to be one of the good celebrities, and I was like, first of all, why are you upset about a story about a guy who image you made up in your head that you've never met? Like, do you understand how many levels you are from being removed from this guy's life? That now you're sitting here
yeah,
judging whatever decisions he made and you feel personally affected by that. I'm like, you need to sort your fucking life out if that's your concern right now,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Like I
Does,
thank you
I
for
look at it.
having nothing else to worry about. Like your life is great.
Yeah, I look at it. Does it affect me in any way? No.
No.
Then I don't care.
And that's and like let's be fair, I'm kind of that way with all this weightlifter, powerlifter gossip bullshit where it's bozo shit as far as I'm concerned. And unless it
Yeah,
directly affects me or my friends or the person turns out to be an absolute piece of shit, right? Like if I've given the money in the past, I'm like, oh well, I'm just not giving that person money anymore. Like that's pretty straightforward. Like that is where this relationship ends. But I didn't like have investment into this person being a good person. I think it's weird.
yeah, I do too.
That's why I don't give a shit about the Steffi Cohen memes. Don't care.
Oh,
Okay. Unpaid or underrated, blowing up microwaves.
blowing up microwave.
You fucking destroyed your parents' microwave, or even if it was old, there was a whole story about that.
God, I don't remember. What the hell did I do?
Oh, we gotta go
Oh,
reference.
I do. Okay, I remember now. So my dad was big at going to auctions and stuff. And he got these plates at this auction, and they had a gold rim
Strength toe
on the
plates.
outside. No,
I'm
porcelain style plates.
I understand.
What are you, a fucking bot in
But
Discord? Shut up.
but but they were smooth and easy to grip. Yeah,
There you go. That's what I was.
but but they had this gold rim on the
Plug our
outside.
friends every now and then.
And anyways, it's like, okay, whatever. Grab a plate, throw it in the microwave. I don't even remember what the hell was on it. Throw it in the microwave. Fucking thunderstorm inside the microwave
Yeah.
because of that plate. Yep, it was some kind of actual metal that was on the outside of those plates, and I destroyed that microwave.
It's probably gold. It was probably
Yep.
gold and aluminum of some sort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't know until I did that.
The reason I said what do you bought, because if you say plates in Discord, it immediately brings up an ad for Strength Co. So
Yeah,
there you go,
exactly.
Keith. You finally did it. You became a real life bot to piss me off. You did it.
You're welcome.
The Davids will be
Yeah.
so proud of you.
Oh, we're speaking of, well, pissing people off. Did you and metal, like, so obviously we're fans of the drink spotters around here. You saw the Tanner going back and forth with that other fucking stupid fake spotter thing where you put keys
Oh,
on it in your
Magmug or
wallet and
whatever.
shit. Yeah, the dumbest fucking thing ever. Did there was some back and forth. I hope they I think, oh no, it was, he said if he gets 6.9 likes he'll buy one just to fucking destroy it or something. I really hope he follows through and does something, even if it's just a private like content for the crew or something, and doesn't, I mean, it'd be great too if he starts a beef with them online. I don't give a fuck, but like, I don't know how good that is for their brand, but I think it'd be funny to just have him to completely destroy one and post it in Discord. It'd be great. So sorry, I had to hijack that. It was one thing we should have talked about in general topics that we didn't. So carry on.
Unpaid or underrated?
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway.
Unpaid or underrated?
Anyway.
X-Files.
X-Files. I never really watched X-Files. My dad did a little bit. I really wasn't ever a fan of it, so I'll say Unpaid. I was. What was the more Stranger show I liked watching?
There was Stranger Things, Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved
Twilight Zone.
Unsolved Mysteries was mine.
Yeah,
the one I really liked. So
with Robert Stack. Fucking love Robert Stack. He was the host with the deep voice.
I also, what was it? Truth or Scare was another one that I really liked when I was a kid.
Up here we had one called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it was kids sitting around. Oh, you had that one too?
We had that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we did.
That was
I
Nickelodeon,
vaguely remember that, but
or
that
is that Nick at Night or something? Wasn't that a
Yeah,
thing?
we
Or
had it on our
yeah.
version, which was YTV Youth Television, which I've
yeah, there
brought
were
up
some scary
before.
ones.
The first time I ever saw a Cradle of Filth music video was on Youth Television on their music video hour on a Thursday night. Well, you passed unpaid and underrated.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we can air it.
Yeah, we can air this episode. I think that leads into any games or questions you have for us.
So Keith, when are you
Oh.
getting a yoke, and when are you going to start collecting scrap metal for random strongman stuff?
A yoke, I don't know that'll ever happen. Like, everyone that knows me. Well, I get that big fucking lump on my neck, and it'd be right where a high bar would sit. And if I put a strenuous pressure on it that's not on a pad, it like inflames the shit out of it and irritates it and makes it to where I have just like a throbbing upper back for like a week. So I don't high bar squat anymore. And if a yoke is essentially a high bar squat that you pick up and run with, I don't think I'll ever yoke. I'll not do competitions that have yokes, or I'll take a zero in that and do the other 4 events, unless I can figure out a way to do it low bar, which still seems like I'm playing with fire. Because
Yeah, that seems
if it
stupid.
slips, because I
To
can
be
start low,
honest.
but
I've
I can
seen
start
people
low,
do
but it's
it.
gonna
I've seen
slip
people
up.
do it.
But that's the thing though, like I'm gonna be so in the zone, and I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking get really tight, and I'm gonna have it low on my back, and then as I'm walking, I guess it would slip down, not up, but nonetheless, I don't see I'll ever get a yoke. As far as random scrap, nah. What I might start adding is random rocks and some stones or something. I don't know. The big maybe. Like I
Yeah.
was thinking, like where the fuck I don't do I gotta go for a hike, and like is that like if you steal a fucking rock out of the woods that weighs 150 pounds, like are you an asshole? Like
No.
if you literally take it out of like a state park, like that's not legal. You'd have to take it out of just
Mm.
like I don't know. It's
You
either
you
private
don't own the
property.
beach. This is
Go
God's
to a
beach, man.
farmer's field
The
and go
farmers have the
ask, hey,
best rocks.
yeah, go, hey, can I go grab some rocks out of your rock pile? They'll look at you. Are you fucking crazy? But
Yep.
yeah, go ahead,
Big one.
go do it.
Yeah. Around here,
Yeah.
like it's so funny you said that because we were driving in an area we don't normally drive in today, just around here, and they were just big rocks because that's what they used to block their entryways to their fields. And I turned to Morgan and I said, "Farmers have the best rocks," and she's like, "They do." And it's so
And they hate them.
if it was any other person saying that sentence to her, she'd be like, "Are you stupid? Like, what's wrong with you?" But because it's me, I love rocks. Yeah, man. Farmers fields, construction sites,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
what they have to do is
yeah.
they sell it to get it broken down into gravel. So if you are just like, "Can I have one of those?" They're gonna go, "Okay, weirdo, like enjoy your rock, but like you're using it for lifting." But
Yeah.
farmers fields and construction sites. But yes, I would argue stealing one from a state park might get you in some hot water.
Yeah, I
Mostly
probably would.
also carrying a 150-pound stone out of a
Yeah.
state park probably isn't stealing at that point. Somebody's gonna see you. Because it's not like it's in your pocket. Like you are walking like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not big.
But
Not,
like
not big Joey E over here with fucking pocket rocks.
pocket rocks, yeah.
Yeah.
City parks probably aren't the worst. Like if you're just going out hiking and stuff and you just see a big rock, you're like, "That's mine now." But yeah, yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
think most rocks come from is farmers fields and construction sites.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, adding to the strongman gym is kind of where it is right now. It's just a matter of what. Like my wife's always like, add to your wish list, add shit to your wish list. It's like it's Christmas is literally like she's gonna once starts buying Christmas present in the next like 2 months or less. So it's like
A big rock.
I fuck everything I want's like $3,000, or like I already have it. So I'm like just trying to like find a couple $100 things here and there, or $100 items, and
I want a big
like
rock.
been getting $50 items off
Yeah.
Amazon for a decade. My gym is full of like anything that's gym related that's on Amazon. It's already been bought. Like I don't have much else.
You should
That's
get
why
some clubs and maces.
I do have shitty mobility, but
Yeah. Yeah, my
if I
mobility is
do, I
not
would
so
just.
bad.
Oh, I did. Speaking of mobility, and Joey E, our buddy, like I saw him post a video the other day of doing his low cable rows, but from like a seated position. So it's like a 40, almost like 45-degree angle, doing your rows up into your chest or to your stomach. So I fucked around with that a little bit today on like a regular flat bench, which is about a 17 inches high, and I was like, that was just too high. It just felt really awkward, and it was almost like too much bicep engagement, kind of. So then I put the bench back and got my Elite FTS box squat and lowered it all the way to about 12 inches and did them, and it was still was different and weird. I don't know. It's a weird movement because I mean, when I do like, there's rows in the commercial gyms where you're kind of like hunched over and you are rowing at like kind of sort of that angle, but you're like usually chest supported. So doing it like free motion, I don't know. I don't know if I love it or not, but I gave it a shot, which is a lot for me because I don't try new shit very often. It
Yeah,
takes
that's true.
So sorry, that was my 7 minute answer to your question, Ben.
It's fine. Yeah, honestly, I did put that as a joke in the Discord, and then a month and a half, 2 months later, you've got strongman stuff in your garage. So
Yeah, sure. It took a while. You had to do strongman or do powerlifting for a decade and get really really burnt out, and then have all your friends only do
yeah.
strongman that are local to you for a while, and it's like, yeah, let's assimilate at least once.
All
So with
right.
the rock talk, have you found any new rocks that you want to get, Joey?
No, no, I haven't really been looking. We're installing a shed in the backyard, so
Okay.
my rock lifting area is being leveled out in preparation for the shed. So, uh,
Okay.
yeah, the rock will likely end up in the gym with my crash pads at some point. But no, I keep seeing rocks and going, think I could lift that, right? Like under the like it's psychotic behavior, and I gotta say, like something's wrong with me. Like we'll be driving through an underpass and a rock will catch my eye out of all of those rocks in the underpass because they use rocks to stop people from building tents and shit under the underpass. So the
Oh,
whole thing is
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
small
Okay. Yeah.
boulders. And I'll just see one and I'll just be like, that looks like it has good handles. And like that's where I am now in my 40th year of age. I'm not looking at women anymore. I'm not looking at like I'm just like that rock looks like I could probably carry that. Like that's probably
That-
150. Right?
She's
Yeah.
thick and she's got nice curves.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at the handles on that. And it's
Yeah.
a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, no,
Uh,
I haven't really stopped and thrown one in the trunk or anything. That construction site down the road, I think they finally shipped theirs off for gravel, but this area is all under development. About 8 minutes that I'm pointing like you guys care, but about 8 minutes east is all under development. So they're
okay.
clearing farmers' fields to
Yep.
build houses, and there's just rocks everywhere. So I think
Oh, I bet.
I can say there's probably going to be a time where I stroll awkwardly into a construction zone and just go, how much for me to go and take one of your rocks? And I know it's coming because
I
powerlifting
thought
is,
about it the other day. So
yeah, powerlift. Oh, what was it? Andrew Clawtron?
Yeah.
Yeah, he posted, he's like, the rock outside of his window. And I was just like, you take that rock. You take that rock, buddy. That is your rock now.
Or
yeah.
They don't even know what they're sitting on. They think it's pretty. They don't even know how much use you could put that to.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I
our
honestly
our
thought about it the other day too. So
our
it's like,
buddy Adam out in Albany, he I don't know, after having dinner with me, he went out and fucking lifted the rock, and I was like, I don't even do rock lifting, but he said it inspired him because all my strongman talk to go fucking find a rock and pick it up in his yard.
That Inukshuk bag I have, the one that's shaped like an
Mm,
Inukshuk, that's like
yeah,
pretty much like a I
it's like a
love that thing. It's filled with
voodoo
pea
doll almost,
gravel.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, an Inukshuk is it's the Inuit used to build them on the pathways home. So if you would see an Inukshuk built on a beach or on a path, it was facing home. And that's how they navigated through the winters and everything way up north in like Alaska and the northern. So that's what it's named after. And but it is the shape of a person. So I've got it filled to about 106 pounds, and I don't think it's heavy enough. So I'm definitely I'm gonna add some more pea gravel to try and get that up to 125, maybe 150. And I love carrying that thing. So I just powerlifting is burning me out. Especially, I hate benching, and I'm starting to hate squatting. Deadlifting is still always going to be my passion, but I'm just getting to that point where I just don't want to do the
Do you have any
cues
specialty
anymore.
bench bars? Do you have
No,
neutral grip
no,
bar?
no. I have a
Like
power bar.
that, get a find a like $100 Titan one, add it to your Christmas wish list or something, and just experiment with that just to add variety.
No,
Floor presses are fun too.
I like floor. I want to start overhead pressing again. I was getting very good
Yeah,
at it,
that's
and then I
true.
stopped
Fucking do.
because Juggernaut doesn't have it. Like they
You
have
have the
push press,
clearance in
but
the
they don't have
basement to
over.
overhead.
Yeah, yeah,
Dope.
What
Yeah,
yeah.
about
I'm
floor
I
sure enough.
press?
Floor press I don't do often enough, but mostly when I say I hate bench press, I hate bench press rack. I hate the cues. There's just so many opportunities to fail a bench in powerlifting, right? And that's one of the things I really dislike about any rules is you need to remove the opportunities to fail. That's actually when I talked to my boss and his boss and our director, I was like, you need to remove the opportunities for us to fail, because the more barriers you put for us to fail, the less success you are going to have. Therefore, the less retaining you're going to have. So if you're constantly looking for ways for us to do wrong, we are not going to want to work for you. And I do think that powerlifting is kind of that to an extent, where the harsher the judging is, the harsher the cues are, the more rules you put in place, the less people are going to want to be a part of your federation or a part of your sport, because there's just, yeah, it's you're not looking for people doing something right, you're looking for somebody doing something wrong. And that is not a way to retain membership in anything, whether it's your job, whether it's your sport, whether it's anything. So I just dislike benching for that reason. I'm also not great at benching. It is my weakest lift. I imagine if I was like some top tier deadlift or bencher, that my mind would be different. But because I don't like doing it, I don't work on it. Anyway,
Did you see me about die
Yeah.
benching the fucking this
yep.
weekend?
Yeah, I actually
That
didn't want to make
little
any jokes
viral
about
meme.
that. Yeah, I
God,
didn't
that
want to.
reminded me of
It
earlier
literally
this
it
year.
looked worse than it was. Like I had at no point was the the bar actually touching my neck. I should have had the spotters up another click, but I just didn't. I didn't even
Yep.
test it. I was just doing a YOLO. It wasn't even that heavy, but it was close grip on the Cadillac bars, like 245, and I was just like fucking just nothing.
Maybe
But I
next
was
time
Yeah.
maybe next time I'm at the no wine cellar, I'll try your Cambridge bar there and see if it
yeah,
does any good
I
for
love
me.
them. But I mean, I also like I would start overhead pressing. Like I don't give a fuck. Like do it. It's so much. Even if you literally
Yeah,
just substitute your bench for overhead press for a month or something, who cares? Like
I
I don't think
definitely
Chad's.
enjoy overhead
I don't think
pressing
you're
more
gonna
than
hurt Chad
anything.
feelings.
Yeah. Overhead press. It's something about overhead pressing is just like magical because it's like people are looking at you like, oh, great example. My cousin's like, how is his body not breaking? And that was like
Because
last.
I'm strong.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And it's like a 230-pound log press, and my cousin's like, how is his body not breaking? And it's like, it's not that big of a deal because I squat more than double
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, every time somebody, because at work they'll ask me like, "Oh, where are you going on vacation?" Oh, I'm going to a lifting meet, and sure enough, they ask, "Oh, what do you lift?" And I'll just be like, my deadlift is like a comfortable deadlift is 400 pounds or whatever," and they're like, "How doesn't that hurt?" And I'll look these people dead in the face and go, "I'm not weak." And it's just
exactly.
like, and a lot of them are like seniors or whatever, and even if they're like younger people, I'm just not weak. Like it's easy to lift when you're strong. Like, how do you stand all day
Yeah.
at work? Well, I'm not weak. That's all.
A, a couple weeks ago, my
Yeah.
boss was trying to like talk up how I can. I don't know because he was like, "Don't you deadlift or squat like 400 or 500 pounds?" Yeah, kind of. And my coworker was like, "Oh, I can leg press like 800." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Somebody did
I
tell
don't
me
give a
that
fuck.
recently.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what you leg press.
Yeah.
You
I was a
can
700-pound leg press, and I'm like, oh,
I don't
that's
give a
nice.
fuck what you leg press. I don't give a
God.
fuck what you leg press."
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, leg press. Oh, fun.
Leg press has its moments. If you're a
No,
bodybuilder
they
or you're
are.
just generic fitness, leg press is awesome. But
Or
It
accessories.
was just more
yeah,
of we're talking about squatting and deadlifting, and you're talking about
yeah,
I'm not like I would if I had a 5,000 square foot gym, I'd for sure have a leg press, a squat, a fucking hack squat,
squat,
and a fucking yeah, and a
a hack
fucking
squat.
hack
Yeah.
squat and a fucking belt squat. I'd have all that because
Yeah.
there is a place for all of those things.
But
But
Yeah.
just the
if
way
we're
that we were having a
talking
conversation
deadlift
about
and
a
squats,
barbell on my back squat, and he tells me about his leg press, I'm just like, okay,
but I mean that's just people. The one time I was
I know.
talking about like my first competition, and this guy, he's half drunk at the bar, and he's like, I can clean and press 300 pounds. And I was like, no, you can't.
Bullshit.
He's like, I don't look strong, but I can do it. I was like, no, you can't. Dude, I said, you'd be in the Olympics. Like, you can't fucking do that. I'm telling you right now, you can't.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like you haven't been to a gym since you were in high school. You cannot do that.
No, it's not
And he
300
was like,
pounds.
okay, if you don't believe me, I was like, I don't. And the conversation is done right now. Like,
300
Yeah.
pounds is such a it is such a not novice weight for overhead press.
it's a
Like
clean and press
Yeah.
that's
from the
Yeah.
that's like
ground up
saying
and
yeah, no,
press.
that's like saying you bench 500 pounds probably, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I'm thinking 500-pound bench and a 300-pound clean and press would be more accurate than a like a oh, or something like that. It'd be more
Yeah.
like
I,
405 bench isn't anywhere close to impressive as a 300-pound clean and press. So I'd almost have to go to a 500-pound bench to get those numbers,
But I mean,
I think.
that's just people,
yeah.
right? Like they hear you and
Yeah.
they're not gonna stand
Yeah.
idly by. They're gonna tell you how strong they think they are.
Oops.
No.
That's what
Yeah.
Ben's done the whole fucking episode, is telling us about his big old PRs and how much better he is at log pressing than we are.
I mean, well, you.
Good man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I still fucking press, yeah, pussy.
Oh, don't worry. At work, it's like, hey Ben, can you put this in the van for me? It's like, sure. And then like, oh fuck, you pick that up by yourself and make it look easy. It's like, I'm
Yeah,
you
fucking
get the
like Joey
you
said,
get the now
I'm
you don't have
fucking
to work
strong.
out it tonight a lot.
No, I don't ever get
I
that.
don't get that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever got that either. Honestly, I think it's like people say that it's almost more of a shtick. Like I don't think I've ever had anyone say that. Like I'll carry big heavy shit all day at work, and no one's ever said.
no. I mean, before I let people know that I was a weightlifter at work, they had a skid parked in front of my kiosk, and it was a Chep skid. Probably it had product on it, so it was maybe around 200 something pounds. And I was like, I need this moved, and nobody would move it, so I fucking moved it. I
Yeah.
picked it up half of it and I slid it forward and I was like, get this out of my way. And they were all just like dumbfounded. And I was like, don't worry about it. Like, you shouldn't do that. That's heavy. And I went, no, it's not. And like,
Yeah,
that was the end of the conversation. Anyway,
yeah,
that's my rock answer.
it's funny because like, so we have a 150-pound weight limit at work, and my boss is like, hey Ben, you know weight?
For
Can
the
you check?
drivers, I think you exceed that, boss.
No, for like
I
package
know,
weight.
I know, I know, I know.
I know. My
There's a
my
big
left
pack.
leg probably weighs more than 150 pounds. But anyways, he's like, hey, you know weight? Can you pick this up? And he's my boss is like, oh, I thought I could lift 150 pounds. It's like 140 some pounds. And I pick it up, and I'm sitting there playing with it, and then it's like my coworker, I'm like, hey, help me stabilize this thing, get it overhead. I'm sitting there, like, yeah, I'd say it's between 140, 150 pounds. And my boss is sitting there looking at me like, what the fuck? You just sit there and go like this with it. He's like, I
But
can
also,
barely move the damn thing.
yeah, but also don't do that at work. Like, if
Yeah.
you, like, he has to protect you, right? If you get hurt, he's potentially liable. So
Yeah.
I can see why when I moved that skid, they were like, that's, don't do that. Like, anyway.
No,
Yeah,
like
it's
he was
very
asking
prevalent.
me like, hey, what do you think? How much does this weigh? Because if it weighs over 150 pounds, it gets sent back to the shipper.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just couldn't believe it because like he could barely move it. I'm sitting there messing with it like it's not that heavy.
That
Well,
is
it
one
was still
thing.
heavy, but
As a person that's been lifting weights for years now, like I feel like we should have a you have a good idea of what a 2.5 pound plate feels in your hand, a 5 pound, a 10 pound, a 25. Like you can like so my one buddy like he had a I don't remember what it was. He had a huge jug of water, but I think it was over a gallon, and he was just like he was trying to tell me it weighed like 15 pounds, and like I think a lot of people probably know how much a gallon of water weighs, but it's not a fact that I actually knew. So I blindly
8.2
not
some pounds.
yeah. So I didn't know that. So when he was like, man, this has got to weigh like 12 pounds, and I took it and I was like, it probably weighs like 8 pounds, and I googled it because he didn't believe me, and I was like, yeah, like you said, it was like 8.6 or something, and I was like, haha, I'm fucking smart. I know
Yeah.
what weights feel like.
All right. Is there any other questions for us, or were those the two?
Those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head. So.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, we hit our 2 hours.
I'm glad you prepared for us, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good work.
No, that was
We
great.
had druthers.
Both those. I think we started your question 20 minutes ago, so I think we did great with that. That was a good way to bring us in on. So
I forgot
I'm
what the
gonna
question
hit
was.
everybody with the affiliates. So if you want to support the podcast and support our friends, go ahead and use Obsidian code unpaid. Shit. So we have code unpaid at all these locations that are our friends. Obsidian, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, and apparel from the Strength Go. So you can use code unpaid at any of those locations and help save yourself money. And Big Ben, where are we going to find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Instagram at Ben Bile. I do have another Instagram that's Ben Bile _. I don't do anything there.
That's
Um,
not what it is. It's been bio.
bye. Or
Good stuff.
I also have a page for my gym that I haven't posted anything. It's just
Oh, very good.
Hussar's strength. I don't have any. I'm not following anybody, but if anybody wants to, it's Hussar Strength, something like that. Well, the
Let's
Hussar.
post it in the Discord. Post it in the
Yeah, I can
Discord
post it
when
in
we release
Discord
this next week.
or even
And
Facebook. Facebook is just my first and last name, and since I'm leaving that route, I decided to make a page on Facebook for my customers and whoever else wants to follow it. It's just Bile Strength Adventures on Facebook. So
oh, cool, nice.
Find
And
me at Joey_Molesco, MLECZKO on the Instagrams. That's about it. On Discord, feel free to find me on Facebook if you want, but there's nothing up really up there. There's nothing going on there.
all right, go ahead and follow Unpaid and Underrated Podcast on Instagram, unpaidinternpodcast.com. We got a YouTube, all that good stuff. I'm Big Keith. You can follow me, Keith Honeycutt 73. More importantly, go follow my Orange Jam, the No Wine Cellar, and we'll see you next Tuesday.